Hello, hello, hello. And then- Hello, guys.
Chat, can you hear us? Aya, Aya, sound Aya. Hey, congratulations. Welcome, everyone.
Wow, wow. This is something that I have never experienced, guys. It was first of its kind, which is a lot is going to happen first of its kind in this event.
Yes.
And I think really very interesting because there was something truly uh, uh, something happened which was very. Let's not get into those details, Tania. There is a lot to analyze, there's a lot to see, and we have the chessboard here. Everything's good. We have on our screen Humpy, who's playing against Anna Muzychuk. And this is the position on the board. Tania, how are you feeling now? Our sound is coming, moves are coming. Arey yaar.
It really felt like a true improving chess where, the audience, the janta just had to kind of come to their own conclusion about what's going on. But like you said, it's truly a first, this edition in so many ways. One of them being the women tournament, the first time ever, a historic tournament in the chess world because Sagar, the women event has the same prize fund as the open, and that has never happened. And fun fact, this was announced months before BCCI announced for the first time ever that the players' fee will be the same for women and men. But chess got there first.
Wow, that's simply amazing, Tanya. And actually, having a look at what the prize fund is would be very interesting because I believe that there is a very uh, hefty prize fund that they are fighting for. But also, very quickly, let's have a look at the pairings first of all and see what do we have in store here. So, this is the pairings that we are seeing. Tanya, on the first round, there is Anna versus Humpy, two heavyweights and two favorites of the tournament facing each other.
They played recently, Sagar. It was a very, very well fought, tough match. It was part of the candidate cycle where actually Humpy took the lead, but Anna Muzychuk made a comeback in the match and managed to win it. So there is a score to settle there for Humpy.
Absolutely.
And then we've got Maria Muzychuk, Anna's sister, who is playing against Vantika, making her debut here in Tata Steel. Anna and Maria are the top boards for Ukraine. They did win the gold. Still hurts to talk about it, but that's for another stream. It is Maria facing Vantika. We've got Savita Shri, the youngest player in the event, who will be playing against one of the most experienced in this format, Georgia's number one, Nana Dzagnidze. By the way, Sagar, all these players who are here have actually played an Indian event even way before the Olympiad. Chat,
Right.
do you know which one I'm talking about?
Which one? Oh, CSL.
CSL, the Chess Super League, they were all a part of this. So it's very special for them to come back to India and, of course, play the OTB events here as well. We've got Vaishali against Harika. That's an all Indian clash. Always exciting to watch. Vaishali playing her Akka.
Yeah. A lot of akkas here for Vaishali, and she is very happy today. I saw her at the breakfast table with Humpy. So that's very nice. And then she'll fight it off on the board as well.
Talking about eating together, players who eat together. I wanted to say stay together, but they're still fighting it out over the board. Last night at dinner, it was very interesting to watch how all the women players were on one table chatting, chilling, and all the players from the Open were also having a fun time. Sagar, the atmosphere here is so lit, but when we saw them come in, they meant business today.
Absolutely. And I think there's one more pairing, that is Vaishali versus Harika, that is going to be there. And lastly, we have Oliwia Kiolbasa versus Anna Ushenina. So very interesting pairing in the first round itself. In fact, all rounds are going to be very exciting. Tanya, why don't we dive into chess and just have a look at what's happening?
All right, I think we have to get to business just the way players have. And let's take a look at Humpy versus Anna Muzychuk, two big favorites fighting against each other. Of course, it's quite a banging match to start with. And we'll take it from the top, Sagar, and really quickly get to the live position. Then we can do a quick opening
Yeah.
tour and see how everyone's doing.
By the way, people are saying wrong heart placement, guys, heart rate. It's not wrong. We have one heart rate right now on the screen, and that is Tania's. She,
Why is it 102? I just realized, by the way. Okay, it's 99. It's the excitement.
But
from
look at Anna Muzychuk's heart rate. It's much more than yours. She has 119 right
Wow.
now.
And what about, okay, we don't have Humpies, but I'll tell you one thing about Humpy. I've played alongside her, I played against her, I played in the same events with her. That girl is so calm regardless of anything. We saw her in the online Olympiad as well, right? In that Armageddon, probably the toughest moment that's there for any player, when the entire team's result, the country's result, rely on your shoulders. And we saw how calmly Humpy handled the situation. I can't see her heart rate yet.
I think few players arrived a little late today, so we couldn't put the bands on them, all of them. I think Humpy was one among them, perhaps. So it'll be done in the next round. But Anna has it. So right now her heart rate is 121, and she's already you can see she's very calm, but definitely under some pressure you can feel it.
Anna's currently looking back, so we've got this big screen where they can follow all the other games as well. So we saw that happen, and that's a beautiful playing hall at the National Library. If anyone watching here is from Kolkata, definitely drop in. It's quite an experience to be here, and yeah, this is a big matchup. Sagar, let's just quickly come up to board with what is happening.
Right. Okay. Let's have a look at the game. E4.
E4, E5, we had an Italian, we had a Spanish with bishop B5. But interestingly, Anna Muzychuk had a little surprise on move 4 with knight C3 as a response to knight E7. Knight E7 is also not a very common
I
move
think
here.
you've played it, yeah, couple of times.
Knight E7
Uh-huh.
after A6.
Okay.
So here it was played before, which is also, I think, something that Humpy doesn't play often. So maybe she was the one who kind of dealt the first surprise in the opening here.
Possibly. Knight G6 was played by Humpy. Then D4 on the board. E takes D4. Knight takes D4. And we had knight takes, queen takes, pawn coming up to C6. And bishop E2. And in this position, Humpy moved her queen out to B6, offering a trade. If I'm not mistaken, last year we saw this opening being played. Vaishali played, and I think it was Arjun versus Vaishali, something like Vaishali versus Arjun.
Wow, that's an incredible memory right there.
I was actually looking at some of Arjun's games, and I thought that this opening is very weird, and he's played it before. And I think he played it once again against Vishy Anand at the European Club Cup, which happened recently, where Arjun actually lost to Vishy. But I think this was the opening that was played.
It's definitely not a line that we see often enough on the board, but can be a big surprise. And after queen b6, it's offering a queen trade. White never wants to trade on b6 because it gives black this free open a file. Don't want to do that. But black also takes advantage of the fact that it's sort of putting pressure on b2. So white did say, you know what, I don't care. Often these are poison pawns. White continues with development. Anna Muzychuk played the move bishop e3.
And Humpy snatched it.
She just snatched it. And you know, this is such a dangerous way to play. I would be scared about getting my queen trapped there. But of course, Humpy is saying, you're giving me a pawn. I'm going to take it, already a pawn up.
Yeah, she's grabbed a pawn here. But Anna says, look, rook b1, queen a3. And this reminds me of the poison pawn variation in the Sicilian Najdorf. Just that it seems a little more passive here for black.
You know, life is a give and take, Sagar. You get a pawn, you have to give something in return. And here, what is black given in return is a lack of development. They're saying, you know what, I'm going to be materialistic here. I'm going to pick up that pawn. But in exchange, your sacrifice for that pawn is that you're behind in development.
Like, just like how you decided not to play the main event there and sit here and commentate with me, give and take.
A give and take. I wanted to be here, you know, next to you to commentate. That's why, you know, I am not a GM.
Well, Tania, I would definitely say that you made a wise choice.
Sad
Not
life.
5 days of fun commentating. instead of having a really tough, tense time outside, but your heart rate says right now you're anyway tense.
I think chess just makes me very excited. So whether I'm commentating or playing, a lot of you have been asking me why I'm not playing in this event, and it was a very difficult decision to make, Sagar. But if you have to play this event against these players, it's so important to have time to prepare and really make that effort. Doing CCT finals right before, I just felt that I have to be a part of this tournament. I've been a part of it since 2018, so decided to not play this time. But we'll see next year.
Yeah, well, but you not playing is a great opportunity.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, and also the audience is lucky. They're going to enjoy these next 5 days
मजा आने वाला है.
of commentary. 3 days of rapid, 2 days of blitz. Right now, Humpy, she brings a queen back to d6 and she's offering a queen trade. Humpy is like, देखो भाई pawn तो मैंने ले लिया, I've taken a pawn. Now I want to exchange queens.
When you're materially up,
Let's
you
do
trade
it.
pieces. Makes so much sense. But let's just point out how many moves Humpy has spent offering these queen trades, right? In the opening, traditionally, don't waste so much time. Queen b6, queen b2, queen a3, queen d6. I think, Sagar, if queens get traded, the pawns will count.
Yeah.
I don't see Anna agreeing for this queen trade yet.
I don't think so. I think, but where does she go is also a question. Going to a4 is like thoda, you're going to the side of the board. The other idea is to push f4 and just go right in the center. After you take, just tell your opponent that, okay, even if I'm a pawn down, I have a lot of space here. I want to threaten f5, then later e5. I'm coming at you.
Not just that, it's also after this position, bishop d4, black still has trouble taking out that bishop on f8. Sure, your queens have gotten traded, but you know what? That was also the only piece that was developed. Now you have zero development.
Correct.
I love the move f4.
Let's see if Anna does it. Shall we go to another game?
Let's move on. So the opening update, but let's just also conclude what is our conclusion of the opening outcome of this one, Sagar.
I would say that this is gone. Still very difficult to say. It will depend a lot on how Anna plays now. I definitely think she has the compensation for the missing pawn. But Humpy is like, this fighter. And she loves such positions where, she is slightly passive, has the pawn, has the better structure. So it's, when I was searching for brilliancies yesterday to ask all the players about their games, I found the most number of amazing brilliancies in the games of Anna Muzychuk. She is a phenomenal attacker.
So she is wanting that initiative.
Yes.
So I think we can conclude with it in a way that both players have sort of gotten what they want out of the opening. Humpy likes to get, she's got this long-term pawn advantage, but Anna's got her initiative compensation. By the way, Anna does decide not to trade off. Like you said, she's looking for the attack here. She goes queen to c4. Maybe our Evalbar doesn't think it's the best move, but things are still complicated in this one. Everything to play for. Let's go to the next one, Sagar.
Maza aega, and that's why it's difficult to say who's better here. Let's go to Maria Muzychuk versus Vantika.
What is this position? I mean, both kings have not castled. We are on move 13. Modern chess is just all about disregarding old principles of chess.
Hana, it's like white king is in the center, black king is in the center. They don't want to castle, no castling
Queens
chess.
are out. They've played several moves with the same pieces. No castling chess is on. It's quite incredible. But let's just take this position in because the more I see it, the more I'm loving it. So black has just made the move h6. Attacking that knight. But the knight can't be picked up because the rook on h8 is pinned. Don't forget that black always has to be careful of the d8 knight falling and the e6 pawn falling.
Yeah.
So it's quite complicated, and instead of going to pick up the pawn, white decided to castle first, saying, you know what, you can't take
Tania
on g5.
just was talking about castling and all, so let me castle.
Let me castle. Hey, kya bol rahe hain commentators? No castling chess. Of course, the principles for the win. Let's castle. But this is dangerous, I think, for black. If you go short castle, for example, here, attacking the knight, I think then white does intend to pick up the knight on d8 and pick up the pawn on e6.
Yeah, true. And also the thing is, after this, what to capture with is a question, because whichever way you capture, e6 will fall and hit the d8 rook. So maybe you take on g5, bishop takes e7, queen e7, and then it's also a very complicated position with doubled pawns for black. What I love about Vantika, by the way, this has happened, what we just mentioned. Castles, castles, and bishop takes
On
d8 on the
fire.
board. And the thing is, Tanya, I don't know how well you know Vantika. I think you must be knowing her well, especially because she has been such a top player in India now. I think one of the best young talents in the country. And she is very well prepared in the opening. She's very focused, dedicated. She knows her theory. She loves her openings that she plays, Najdorf being one of them. This is what she played. And she's not at all afraid of top players.
Sagar, this last thing that you said about not being afraid of top players, I think that is what really sets this generation apart. They are just not intimidated with who they are playing. So many of us, sometimes when we are playing a higher rated player, like draw le lete, draw le lete.
Draw.
But that is just not in their blood at all, you know.
And also, when you're facing Maria Muzychuk, what I would think is, oh my God, she has been a former world champion. She has won so many events. How can I beat her? You know, that confidence doesn't come out. And that's why I'll not say people know already. That's why I did not become a GM. But the
Sad
thing
guy.
is, Vantika, on the other hand, or let's say Savita, they think of it as an opportunity to face against these players, and that's why they are there. And there we see on the screen, it's Savita on the screen. If we can go to Savita versus Nana Dzagnidze game, that also looks another huge battle incoming. Savita is the youngest participant of this tournament. Yes, there we have it. Savita, 15 years of age.
I mean, look at the screen, right? Look at the two of them. It really looks like, like a real clash between generations here. 15-year-old Savita Shri against, well, Nana is such an established elite player in women chess. And you can, it's like, I don't know how do you even, that's such a cool shot. I love it. Like, look at the focus. Oh my God.
Dosto, this is such a nice shot from the far camera, which is zoomed into Savita. And we are going to talk a bit about the broadcast and everything. But just to let you know, guys, Tania, Georgian chess has been well known for its top women players, starting from Nona Gaprindashvili, Maya Chibudanidze, and I think we have Nana Dzagnidze who has carried on that legacy. And right now she's here in Kolkata, she's here in India, and our youngest participant is facing this sort of legend on the board. So it's a fantastic battle, and Savita has a small edge also.
Nana Dzagnidze has been board number 1 for Georgia, Sagar, ever since I can remember. So you're completely right about that she's sort of taking that women chess legacy forward in her country. They've been Olympic medalists in the past, I think several times. And what's interesting is that a lot of times these players are used to playing against each other. For Nana, she has no idea what kind of a player Savita Shri is. So that also adds that element. Nana has this pressure on her that playing with the black pieces, it doesn't matter who she's playing against. If she's playing against a player who's considered a target in this tournament, she will try to take that extra risk, and it can backfire.
True. And Savita, if she gets off on the right foot, she will be a huge force to reckon with in this tournament. I'm actually very much looking forward to. Also, we know that Anand has his own chess academy called Westbridge Anand Chess Academy. And both the girls from that academy, Vaishali and Savita Shri, are playing here. And it's a big opportunity to both these girls. By the way, Tania, queens are traded. What is your thought overall on this position? My feeling is white is slightly better.
And I want to explain why that's the case, because you're absolutely on point with that. Let's take a look at the position. It's equal material, equal pieces. We're in an endgame. But what really changes the characteristic is what's going on the queen side pawns. The pawn on b4 controls the dark squared weakness of c5 and a5 as well. The pawn on c6 is a backward pawn, Sagar. Wo aage nahi badhega, it will get lost. Black always has this one counterplay of going a5 and challenging this pawn structure, but white will have a response to go b5 and break open the position, creating a d5 weakness. It's all about the better pawn structure for white. Pawn islands. A simple way to break it down. Chat, how many pawn islands does black have? How many pawn islands does white have? which means that white will have a long-term advantage. White's bishop is more open. White has the only open e-file in control. Dark squares of black, super weak. Imagine white's knight getting on c5, getting on d4. That's going to be a beautiful position.
Tania, do you train, like, do you teach online chess or something?
Just send me thoda WhatsApp kar dena baad mein. I'll see if I've got a schedule.
Because the
open.
last 2 minutes, I was just listening to her and I was like, oh, yes. Oh my God, this is also there. This is also there. Fantastically explained, Tania. That was wonderful to know. And you are absolutely right about pawn islands.
Yeah.
3 pawn islands for black, 2 for white. But Nana is saying, look, Tania, you said the A pawn is an island. I think, Tania, you should comment it a little softer.
Oh, you think they can hear me?
Yes, because you said 3
is
pawn
better.
islands and they said A5. Let's get rid of 1 pawn
Oh
island.
wow, and we were talking about A5 earlier, so we better talk a little softly. Although, guys, I'm sure they can't hear us, but we will, of course. A5, like I was saying, Sagar, is the way for black to go to try to neutralize this extra pawn island. And we were talking about the knight jumping to d4.
Beautiful maneuver by Savita. I really loved it. The knight on c3 was like, "Arey, what is my life, man? I can't go anywhere. What is happening?" And Savita said, "Ruko, be patient. I'm going
Wait
to
karo."
maneuver. Wait, karo. Life is going to get better." Knight e2 with the idea of knight d4 hitting the c6 weakness and the e6 bishop, and then a5, knight d4, ab, and Tania. Because it's the first round, we are just getting into the groove and all, but look at the time. Both players down to 5 minutes and 7 minutes already. मतलब क्या, चलो फटाफट अपन दूसरे भी गेम देखते हैं.
It is amazing what is going on here, and this potentially could be our first upset. Savita Shri is having the dominating position, is having command over her position. Nana feeling the pressure, and Nana is a heavy favorite in this one.
Yeah.
So, going to be exciting to watch this. But Sagar, let's quickly get an update on the all-Indian clash that we have with Vaishali facing Harika. Of course, both of them played for India on board 2, board 3 at the Olympiad. So, it's going to be interesting to see how their position is going.
Yeah, let me get the board of Vaishali versus Harika here. Yeah, I think this is the board.
Oh, wow. What a position. Chat, what is this position? Okay, I really need to keep my voice down, and let me just quickly check my heart rate is 82, not bad.
Yeah. Tania, you're now calmed down. You are no longer worried
Going
about
crazy.
anything. Yeah.
All right, but the position is definitely going crazy and out of control. Take a look at this. Vaishali has managed to open the king side. And Sagar, what I really want to do, because this is such an exciting current position, let's quickly take it from the top and see how we got here.
Yeah, sure, Tania. And I think we have leeches up, so we will be able to continue with our normal board. Yeah. So, it started off with Slav defense, and Vaishali said, I'm going to play exchange Slav. Very unlike Vaishali, because she loves to attack. She puts a bishop out on f4, and she tells Harika that, look, there's only one difference in this position, that your bishop on c8 is passive. My bishop on d3 is a beautiful piece. So knight f3, takes, bishop d7. Now, if a normal player is playing chess, he would castle or she would castle.
I feel like you're going into a chess pa mode. It's like, if a normal player, I love it. Please continue. It's like poetry.
And then, but the thing is that Vaishali is not a normal, she's a super player. So she decides that I'm going to attack. And she goes rook c1, she waits, and then goes g4. Oh my God.
And this is what you were saying, right? Exchange Slav, you're very surprised that a player like Vaishali goes for it, but she's so attacking, and she says, Sagar, you were surprised with Exchange Slav, but I'm going to show you my attack goes g4, g5, immediately breaks it after b5, because this is the rule of chess. Your opponent plays on one flank, you play on the other. The moment she went g4, Harika looking for counterplay on the queen side with b5. It's about who's going to get there faster.
I think Vaishali is the one, because she plays g5 and she tells Harika that, look, I'm opening up your king side. What's next for you? Harika plays b4. She also opens it. Pawn takes, knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes. And Tania, we are reaching a position where after knight e5, it's like Vaishali is even ready to give up her bishop, because after queen takes, where is the queen entering, guys? Do you know? is there a square where the white queen will be deadly in the position? Let's just imagine take and take. Let's ask the chat. Let's
ask
see
the
whether our
chat.
chat is awake or they are sleeping.
This is fire on board.
Ooh.
This position is absolutely lit, and you're what's our chat saying? Of course, chat knows Sagar. They've been watching your stream. They see it. They spotted the geometry of the position. You want to combine that knight and queen. You want them to support each other in the attack. And chat finds it. Queen h7 would be killer.
Yeah, he sublog h7, h7. Guys, what is up with all of you? You guys are absolutely right. The queen will enter h7. Right now, Tania, we have 1,000 to 1,100 people watching this. Guys, please like the stream. Also, make sure that people who are not aware that this tournament has begun today at this time, please tell them that it has started. It's going to be 2 events that are going to go on. And so, she didn't take on d3.
She didn't take on d3 because, as chat said, that would just welcome the move queen h7, which would be a disaster. Instead, white's strongest pieces on the e5 square, knight on e5. Harika says, I want to get rid of it, challenges it with knight c6. Vaishali decides to trade on d7 and says, you know what, I'm going to keep my bishop alive. After knight d7, king d7, the bishop falls back. Now tell me, chat, where is the queen coming into the attack from? Where do you want the white queen next?
White queen is like sitting on d1 and saying, I can go here, I can go there. मैं ये भी कर सकती हूँ, वो भी कर सकती हूँ. So she is just on its initial square and creating dangerous threats for the black king.
Yeah, it's like you're just sitting at home, but you're the most dangerous piece. And as chat is pointing out, Sagar, queen h5 would be hell for black in this position. Once the queen comes into the attack, it would be so dangerous. Harika trying to build her own counterplay as quickly with rook g8, and Vaishali plays a nice little move. No rush,
King F1.
no hurry, king f1, and this position is all about king safety, and that's the reason that white is better here, because white, even though uncastled, the king is completely safe. All of black's army is on the queen side. The queen, knight, and knight will take forever to attack the king. Meanwhile, white's queen, as chat pointed out, comes to h5, and that is super dangerous for Harika.
Absolutely, Tania, and that's what we are going to witness now. After saving her pawn, Vaishali is all ready to enter the position. I think the two young girls, Savita and Vaishali, are out here for blood. They want to beat as many opponents as possible. There's one more game we haven't seen yet. That is the star of the Olympiad, scoring 9 out of 9. Oliwia Kiolbasa playing Anna Ushenina, another very, very strong player who has multiple achievements to her credit. Anna Ushenina.
You know, Oliwia was this spectacular breakout player at the Olympiad. I mean, she was winning round after round, and definitely that was the moment for her. And it's amazing to have her back and see her fight it out in this event. She's playing against a very established player, Anna Ushenina, one of the top female players of the world. But I do like what black has done, and it all comes down to this bishop on d4.
क्या ही bishop है?
क्या ही bishop है? दिल ही जीत लिया.
Bishop is like, I'm seeing in all directions. Here. What are you going to do about it? And then the pawn on e5 is like, I support you. The pawn on c6 is like, I'm coming and supporting you. Then the bishop will open up. It's like that thing, no, Tania? That one beautiful piece just makes the entire position look beautiful.
I ship this bishop.
You?
Ship this bishop.
Oh, nice.
So bishop on d4, absolutely agree that it is the dominating piece here, Sagar, and that's the reason that black is doing so well. And you know what? You might get worried about moves like g4, g5, creating counterplay on the king side, but black's last move, c5, is directed exactly against that. You know what? My one bishop is amazing. If you take it, I will probably consider either taking it with the rook. I kind of like taking it with the rook so that you'll have that open file. Maybe we can have some arrows on the board. But with c5, black also opens up the other bishop on b7.
Right. I think c5 has been played and the bishop has been opened up. It is looking really good for black. So Anna Ushenina in form right now. Let's go back to Anna Muzychuk versus Koneru Humpy and see what's happening there. Oh my god, it's still the same, Tania.
It's the same, but so different, with Humpy down to less than a minute on her clock. Anna Muzychuk has got about 3.5 minutes still. all the initiative on the board. Humpy has that pawn, but Anna has got two bishops in return, an open position. It's a game to play for all three results. If I had to pick a color, I would want to be white here.
I'm not sure. Again, this is the thing. I think Humpy is very happy being black, and Anna is very happy being white. So that's the
point.
thing here. But I would definitely say that Humpy is under pressure because of time being low, being less than a minute on the clock. But look at her focus. Oh my God! Look at this, Tania. The focus and the control on nerves is just unbelievable, as you have said. It doesn't feel like she's under a minute. It is like she's playing a classical game.
So relaxed. Has Humpy forgotten about the clock? I mean, she seems so chill there. You know, Sagar, you said you want to be black here, but let me put you under a little bit of pressure.
F5 has come.
F5 has come and your queen is so exposed. You know, I want to start threatening it. I want to try to go rook d1. I want to go bishop f4. F6.
Yeah, F6.
F6.
Why
How
not?
are you responding to F6?
Exactly. F6. What's your plan? Oh, I know what she wants to do. I think she wants to go to F5. Knight F5. Hit this bishop. And if you try to save it, then you lose this pawn. Even that is not clear.
It's very unclear. I mean, F6
Very.
is so tempting and it's the move you want to make when your opponent is down to less than a minute on the clock. Will Anna Muzychuk go F6 here? It is such a move which I think is an Anna move to play.
Absolutely. I think she might do it, but she's also thinking she has 2 minutes, 11 seconds on the clock. Guys, 10-second increment per move. Per just 1 and 2 minutes left for both the players. Which other game should we quickly
Let's
check?
jump over to the Vaishali board because that was the other one that was absolutely insane. The position that we have, I see it now. It looks like it's a bit more in control, but look at that king on d6. How many of us will be able to play calmly with a king on d6 and 2 minutes on the clock?
Yeah, absolutely. The black king is like, why I am the leader of my army and I also have to work. So he's there on d6 defending the e6 pawn, the c6 knight, and if he's safe, then in the endgame, Tania, he can become a huge asset.
That is a very good point. And Harika, you know, taking that, what you just said, she's like, Sagar just said this. I need to offer a queen trade, makes the move queen g4. And it's just that, yes, the king on d6 is just not the best square in the middle game, but white is not able to make the most of it currently.
Right.
And after queen g4, how are you going to avoid the queen
I think
trade?
I have to play queen g2, but that just feels a little bit too passive. So I have a feeling that Harika, the worst is behind her. Very quickly, let's go to Maria Muzychuk versus Vantika Agrawal here. Seems like Maria is building up a small attack with her rook swinging over to h3 and the queen in a nice position ready to enter.
You know what Vantika is saying, Sagar? She's like, sure, rook lift, attack with the queen and rook. But you know what? My king is totally safe on f7. You don't even have another check. Your knight from c3 is never coming to the game. I'm putting pressure on e4. Someday I'll get a strong d5 in using that pin on the 4th rank. Rook h3 looks pretty, but I am safe.
Well, that was very well put, Tania. It's another interesting game to follow. But people are saying Humpy looks good, and Tania, Anna has pushed f6. She was going to do that and she has done it. Now the knight comes to d5. Humpy is like, what's the big deal? Okay, if you want to take on g7, be my guest. I'll just move my rook over to e8, attack your bishop on e3 and the bishop on e2.
Wow.
So that looks, by the way, that hasn't happened. She played rook bd1 on the board.
And f6 is such a tempting move to make, and I see that our eval bar did not approve of f6.
No, it
And I think that is because what Humpy had in mind, in under a minute, finding this resource of going knight d5, rook e8, the line that Sagar you just pointed out, taking use of the two bishops on the same file, insane stuff, simply goes queen e5. What are you doing now?
Bishop is hanging, and oh, she takes f3.
But rook e8, rook e8, just put pressure.
Rook
Does white
e3
lose?
hanging, e2
You-
hanging.
How do you fight this? How are
Rook
you?
d3 maybe, rook d3. Just go up. So let's say rook e8, and then you may have to go rook d3. But I think Tania, this
And
is
knight e3, queen f7 is your idea. That's the whole point. That is the whole point.
Mate,
Insane.
पर हम जल्दी में नहीं है ना Tania. We'll just put our bishop on e6. We'll just be calm because the white pieces are just completely messed up. By the way, she went rook f3. She didn't go d3. She's like, I'm bringing my other rook. But what are you going to do to bishop g4? Rook is, and she plays it.
Humpy on fire with just a minute, seconds on her clock. She's down to 21 seconds. She's finding the best move. As we can see, our rival bar keeps saying that Humpy is getting stronger and stronger. And that's simply because black is going to win material here.
Yeah.
Bishop g4 attacks that rook. The e3 bishop is hanging. Don't forget, the rook on f3 is overloaded, Sagar. You have to put pressure on f7 so that black can't take with the knight on e3.
भाई रुक दे दिया उसने, she gave
क्या
up her
करेगी
rook.
वो? Nothing
She
to
gave
do.
up. Exactly, and now Humpy's an exchange up. Her king is safe because the white pawn here is kind of being a protector to the black king. That's the biggest problem with having a pawn there.
And that's why we never take this pawn. Black never wants to rush with going queen g7 or king g7 because you actually want that g7 pawn protecting your own king.
Exactly. That's the worst kind of a traitor you can have. And guys, Humpy might score the first win, and as Tania said, a mini revenge there because she did lose to Anna at the world championship qualifiers. Yeah, that cycle. So, but you know, I'm just a little scared about bishop takes h7 business, but that's not coming. Knight e3, piece is won. Oh, she takes on h7. She takes on h7. King h7. Check. Okay. By she sacrificed two bishops.
But this is just desperation.
I don't know.
Queen, but now you pick up g7. No, now it's.
I'm just very excited because of few reasons, Tania. Firstly, it's the first round. We have two world-class players. One of them is just sacrificing piece after piece. What? The arbiter came. What happened? Oh, she resigned. She resigned.
After knight f5. What a beautiful move. You simply cut off the queen and you're threatening queen e1.
Yeah.
And that is it. It's the end of the game. Humpy scores the first win of the Tata Steel Rapid Women Tournament, beating one of the other heavy favorites. And we can see Humpy there. She doesn't give too many emotions away, Sagar.
She's just arranging her pieces and
but
she's
she
like,
looks
okay.
pleased. I think it's not about just winning, but the quality of play was so high in this one. Beautiful game.
No mistakes by Humpy, and showing that this tournament, she's going to be one of the heavy favorites to win. And actually, when have we last seen Humpy playing in India?
Olympiad.
I mean, Olympiad, but it's a team event.
Yes.
And she playing this, like, you know, starting off with a win. I would love to see her dominate this event.
It's going to be incredible to see her in this tournament. She mentioned at the opening ceremony yesterday that she's so motivated here because it means so much to her to play an elite women event in her own country. Having this whole prize fund, this historic prize fund, having this playing field, which is such an inspiring playing field. You know, you're playing against the best in the world.
Absolutely.
So Humpy here really giving her best in the first round, and what a game, chat.
By the way, Tania, can we just have that view again? That top-down view that we had right now. What a beautiful view of the playing hall. We could see the boards. We could also see the audience. It was phenomenal. And people who are in Kolkata, in and around, what are you doing, guys? Please come here as soon as possible. This is the tournament you can't afford to miss. Maria Muzychuk versus Vantika. Where do we go, Tania?
Oh wow, what is going on in Maria's game? Look at this Alekine battery with rook g6, queen g5, rook g3, all the three heavy pieces eyeing that g7 pawn. The knight
f6 is also hanging right now.
f6 is hanging.
So rook takes f6.
Rook on c7 is hanging.
Oh, rook is hanging. Bhai, 94 fork has come in. What is happening? Rook hanging here, queen hanging here. No, but you can just take the queen, but then the rook saves itself. I'm too confused. The winning move is rook takes g7, queen takes g7. Oh, she finds it. She finds it.
Oh my god, this is a tactical trick. Queen g7, you want to go queen d8?
Queen d8. And then if you go here, you will lose this with a check, right? So you will also lose your queen.
You're losing your queen, rook h3 check, everything. And Maria Muzychuk finds it, chat. What was this?
Ooh.
What an end.
What a beautiful variation there. And Vantika now plays her king to h7, but she's going to lose her queen. And after that, her king is too exposed.
Not just that, rook g7, rook g... Yes!
Hooray.
You win the knight as well. And after rook g7, you have to take with the rook because the c7 rook is hanging. You take with the rook, your knight on e4 hangs. This is game over. Anna Muzychuk lost, but the other sister will win this one.
This 1 point comes in the family.
1 point has to come to the family.
And can we go to Savita versus Nana Dzagnidze, the next game? And what is happening here? Nana has said to Savita, today, win for you, Nana.
Nana.
We had to do that. Sorry, guys.
So she's gone for this endgame, which actually,
No, it's just 3 points down, yeah?
yeah, this is
It's
just
just
over.
over. And Vaishali, Harika, shall we go there?
Let's take a look at Vaishali versus Harika.
And guys, Vaishali is equal here. Right now, both sides have 2 points. Commendable of Harika to be playing this tournament with her daughter being just 3 months old.
Yes, right after the Olympiad, 2 weeks after the Olympiad, she had a baby girl and she's here. It's her first tournament being a mother.
Yeah.
And I think it's a solid start.
Okay.
This is going to end in a draw, is my prediction, Sagar.
Can we have Harika on the screen? Harika and Vaishali? Because, Tania, I feel that this... Oh, they drew already. They drew. So, very solid start for both of them. And what about Anna Ushenina versus Oliwia Kiolbasa?
Okay, black again here just has 2 extra pawns and no compensation for white. I think this is going to be an Anna win. So both the Annas win.
Ooh. No.
Yeah.
Anna
no.
Muzychuk
Yes,
lost.
Anna Muzychuk.
Yeah.
Maria Muzychuk won.
Yeah.
And there we have Harika and Vaishali. They are setting up the pieces. Of course, we've got 3 rapid games today, Sagar. So the players have little time between the rounds.
Right.
And
Guys, I think we are coming to the completion of almost all the games, because if we just quickly check, Maria Muzychuk is winning, right, against Vantika. Then we had Savita Shri, who's right now worse against Nana Dzagnidze, almost lost. Vaishali and Harika drew their games. And Oliwia Kiolbasa is losing to Anna Ushenina. So, can you believe it? We had 4 decisive games out of 5.
I'm not surprised because this format is so typical to have this kind of fighting chess, Sagar.
Yeah.
Very often we see, games in time travel go one way or the other. We've seen fireworks on the board. It's been such a great start. I think for me, the round 1 game has to be Humpy's game. I mean, what a win.
Many times we are so enamored and attracted to attacking chess that we underestimate defense. And this is what Humpy did amazingly well. She defended so well and she kept her cool. We would have loved to have her heart rate on the screen. However, guys, it's the first day. We are all getting into the groove. From the second round, all the heart rates will be accurate. Right now, we have only one on the screen, which is very accurate. That is our dear Tania's heart rate, 86. Not bad, Tania.
Not
You're
bad.
doing well.
I'm keeping it
doing well.
cool. By the way, Adam has a question for you and Amrita. He wants to know if women fight more than men.
That question has 2 answers. If you're talking about chess, yes. If you're talking about life, also in my personal experience, yes.
All right, so we've got results on that note. Before we see an exhibit of that, we've got Vaishali and Harika have drawn the game. Nana, as you said, refuses the victory for Savita. She wins against her, even though I think Savita really put up a big fight in her first game. And we've still got some live games on.
Let's go and check the game of Vantika and Maria Muzychuk. We have the long shot view there. As you can see, I think the players are just arranging the pieces back. And lot of improvements in this tournament, guys. I think few of the things that can be mentioned here are, if you see the floor, it now has a checkered form, over there. Also, if you look at the crowd, there's a beautiful sitting area. Last time, because of COVID reasons, we couldn't pack it to the brim. This time, I think people are just going to pour in and they're going to love it. Just look at this. You can come here, guys. I think there's no entry fee, Tania.
There's no entry fee. It's first come, first entry. It's a Tuesday morning. We've got over 1,000 people watching chess. And this is the first time we have this women event here. So much chess fever on in Calcutta. As you're pointing out, it's a beautiful setup that we have there. By the way, I do love the flooring. I have a thing for flooring, by the way. I really, when it's interesting and especially checkered, take out the camera and I do all of that.
Do you also kind of move around like a knight or something like that?
Like a knight and stuff, but like a pawn I do usually. But I think this is looking absolutely stunning, and we see the players will be back, the audience will be back. You got a couple of minutes before the next game starts. Sagar, what's going on in chat?
You know, there are few messages which I simply loved. One of the person in the chat mentioned that I am at the playing venue
Oh, wow.
and I'm sitting next to Vishy Anand.
What? What?
And that guy is having, and I think everyone congratulated him.
That is
I
an
don't know.
achievement. That is honestly, that should make your year. You know, yesterday at the opening ceremony, we had this quick Q&A with the players, and each of these top players, they were sharing the stage with Anand, and they said that, you know, they said it's such an honor to be on the same stage as Anand.
Absolutely.
And it really is. So, I mean, it's amazing. It's your lucky day.
You know,
if you're
today I
sitting next
woke
to
up
him.
and I went to the breakfast room and Anand was sitting there and I smiled at him and I was like, "Hi, Vishy," and he said hi. And I was like, okay, this is not normal day. There was like 2 months before this when I used to wake up every day and just go to my workroom and work. I know, Tanya, you are waiting for some kind of a statement or.
No,
No, guys, I'm not. I enjoy waking up and meeting Amruta. That's not the question. But looking at Vishy was amazing.
That was your best start of the day. Sagar, what does that tell us about life in general? But you know, I totally get it. By the way, I had a similar experience today morning at breakfast. Anand was sitting with Yeron and I went over to greet them. And then he told me that Akhil and Aruna are coming today.
Okay.
And Akhil remembers my name.
Wow.
And I was so, because every time I meet Akhil, like we have this full grown-up kind conversation, you know, it's always so much fun to chat with him. And he remembers my name and he, you know, he kind of, I was very happy. It made my morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did.
And,
So
and
I
Tanya told
understand.
me a beautiful story in the morning, guys, at
Which one?
the
Wait,
at
I'm
the
scared now,
breakfast
I'm
table.
scared. What
I'm not
story?
going to reveal it right now.
I don't know what he's talking
During
about.
the day we'll speak about it. Very nice story, by the way, Tanya. It was about the legend
Oh,
whom
yeah.
you followed and you wanted
I
to.
might have stalked someone in my live chat, but we'll get to it. Amrita's here. Amrita, come
And
say hi to
Amruta
everyone.
Mokkal
But I
joined
want to
us.
tell you, by the way, come. They wait. They want to say hi now. And also, by the way,
Anna Muzychuk and Anna Ushenina is there, but here I said Anna Amruta. Anna.
and Nana said na re. Amrita said na re. Wait, 1 second. I just want to say, you know, because I'm a really good friend of yours, and I would only tell you the truth. Sagar said the highlight of his morning is always meeting Anand.
Not always. Today.
Thank you, Tania, for telling me this. This is really a big secret which you got to know.
Amrita doesn't seem very surprised.
You won't be
No.
upset, right? Because Anand we get to meet like once or twice in a year or something.
I think she'd have the same feeling. Yeah.
I agree with it. You know,
Okay.
whenever he meets all these players, it's like, oh my god.
I
oh
have
my
another
God,
one.
I met Anish and I met Vidit and
Yeah. No, but today morning was actually a really interesting breakfast with all the players. By the way, in chat, somebody asked Sagar that do women fight more than men? And Sagar said yes.
I think तानिया इधर कुछ तो उसका प्लान चल रहा है इधर अपना झगड़ा लगाने का है ना केरोसिन तानिया
Kerosene Sachdev, guys in the chat.
That was the trick. इसके लिए वो बुला रही है. So I must go right now. So that
अच्छा
you
बाहर
know,
हो
I
क्या
don't
रहा है
get
ये
that
तो बता
How are
practice.
things?
Things are great. I mean, I have to still follow. It's catching up right now.
First round is like total chaos,
Yes.
right? We
they
didn't have.
can't see you dude no one can you come a little
Yes.
closer?
Yes,
I
come
mean,
I
Closer,
have
leave
some
your hand.
important thing to talk to Mr. Sagar Shah
please tell me.
for 30 seconds. I'm sure.
You want me
know,
to go?
Tania
I can go.
Is an amazing
Fine.
host. She's an amazing host. So for 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, maybe if you can handle, then there's something else I have to just.
Oh,
Are you-
chat तो अपने ही दोस्त है ना तो you can.
chat के सामने क्या ऐसे छुपा रहे हो तुम
You
you can
It's really important.
oh
Okay.
wow by the way, I was only joking about that women fight more and Anand. He said actually that his ideal morning is always waking up next to you. That was a joke.
I don't believe. I won't believe that.
Okay, Tanya, I'm going to leave you for a bit.
Done it.
And I'll come back in a second. For now, guys, the next round is going to start in like 5 to 7 minutes. But I'll be back in a second. You want to take take them through the pairing?
Yes, I think we're gonna chat with chat about the action that's coming up. And where can I see chat? Okay, right here.
Yeah.
Sagar, all the best, huh? I didn't mean to, by the way.
हाँ ना यार, क्या ही, मेरे को तो
Sorry
डर लग
यार.
रहा है. एक second, I'm just going to put up
थोड़ी
the.
तो गुस्सा लग रही है हमें. वापस आ जाना.
हाँ हाँ, आ रहा हूँ. So this is the pairing, Tania. You can go ahead.
All right, chat. Round 2 coming up. We may or may not have Sagar come back. Really depends on what happens out there. But I'll get an update for you. But take a look at our matchups, chat. By the way, for me, the most such big fights, but that Humpy game against Anna completely blew my mind. It was so intense. Tactics, attack, compensation, initiative, सब कुछ था उस game में. And rest in peace, Sagar chal raha hai, chat. We will keep you updated on that. Last board did end in a draw. Okay, let's take a look at the pairings. We've got Humpy playing against Anna Ushenina. The two of them have played against each other quite a bit. They understand each other's game. So again, it's a clash between two very established players. But Humpy has had such a great start. And chat, in these events, it's so much about momentum, so much about picking up that first round win to keep that energy going. And Humpy is feeling good right now, I can tell you. Not just about winning, you win against one of the strongest players in the field, and the way she did it with the black pieces, just an amazing game throughout. We've got Harika, who drew against Vaishali. She will be playing against Oliwia Kiolbasa. So Harika with the white pieces, I'm expecting her to push this one. On paper, she's a favorite, chat. She will be playing against Oliwia, a very strong young player from Poland. Then we've got Nana against Vaishali, another matchup. This one, chat, is going to be really fun to watch. Vaishali is one of those youngsters. I know her really well. We've played in the same team. I've sort of seen her grow up and through tournaments, through the years. I know that she's one of the players who just doesn't fear anyone she's playing. I think she's trained so much with, along with, Ramesh in Chennai, with her brother, with the whole academy over there, that for her, she just imbibes this very fearless style of play. So this is going to be a really big fight between Nana and Vaishali. We've got the two debutantes at the event. Well, actually, the whole event is a new one, but Vantika and Savita find themselves here for the first time at the Tata Steel, and they are the youngest of the players. So this is going to be a big one for them, because both of them will feel the pressure to win against each other. They do want to score a win in this one. They feel that, we are the underdogs. We want to try and score against one another. So it's quite a big match for the two of them. And we have an all-sister clash. Talking about family fighting against family, we do have Sagar back with us. What's up? How did that go?
I am back with a lot of updates that are going on. There are a few things that are happening outside.
You look a bit.
Everyone's, what happens generally in such events is that when you have lot of elements that are being put in place, you may start even a day before, right? But at the end, there are so many things that can go wrong. There are so many things that can that are missing and stuff. And so everyone's right now getting into the groove. It's also the players. Like you saw that in the first game itself, Anna was not she attacked and she lost. And I think that also happened to Oliwia Kiolbasa. It happened to Vantika. Same way as commentators, as people, as organizers, everything, they are just figuring out things. And the main thing that we are figuring out is the heart rate, because this was something that we wanted to make it happen here. It's a very interesting concept that we have tried. And so, guys, please be patient with us. It will be worth the wait whenever that happens. And we'll update you about what's happening.
हार्ट रेट तो फिक्स हो रहा है, तुम्हारा हार्ट रेट ठीक है ना?
मेरा पता नहीं कितना रहेगा, मेरे को भी फिट करना है, but we'll see.
Okay, so that's absolutely true, Sagar. I think there's so much organizationally going on, and of course, the first round is always a bit chaotic. We are settling into it and doing a lot of these first time, as you mentioned, the heart rate monitors. I really think that's going to become a staple in the chess world, because it adds this really exciting element. Chat, do you enjoy it? Tell us if you enjoy watching this completely crazy, demographic that happens with the heartbeat going up and down, and it's something I'm sure which is a lot of fun for everyone to
I
watch.
think Tanya, everyone loves it. In fact, in few of the streams I did, I was putting just my heart rate, and people used to come to watch just my heart rate, not the players, because I didn't have players' heart rate. So I'm sure they are all very excited that that starts working. And guys, we are trying our best. And Ashwin is here. He's amazing. We yesterday night we were working until 2 a.m. to make that work, and I'm sure that it will happen.
Want to see Hikaru's heart rate? In fact, that was exactly what I said to Sagar and Amrita last evening when we were discussing the heart rate monitors. That I think Hikaru is one of the players who will be so exciting to see with the heart rate monitor. He's always so full of expressions and energy when he's playing. But I wonder what's going on inside. It's like, it reminds me of Vidit, right? You were mentioning that at the death match, Vidit's heart rate touched 170.
Yeah.
And when you look at Vidit, you never get that feeling. You don't realize that that's what's going on inside. He's got this whole poker face going on, but it's amazing to see that he's also human.
Absolutely, Tanya. That's very, very well said. And you were telling us that there's going to be a sister clash. That's
Yes, Anna against Maria coming up in round 2 now. Okay, I'll be honest, when I've seen this across tournaments,
draw, right?
and it's understandable, it's the start of the tournament. You kind of don't want to fight against each other, but this is also a rapid format. Chat, I don't know, what do you think about this? But very often when I've seen the two of them play against each other, the game ends in a quick draw.
You know, there are very few things that I have a very firm opinion on. I'm generally a very flexible person. But in this case, I have sort of practiced what I preach. Like, I always like to fight on the board. And me and Amruta, we have played 6 times against each other. We've traveled sometimes far across to different countries. And Amruta has been doing really well. Then she faces me, loses, and then a tournament goes off the rails, and I'm like, no, this is
And
not what I
Sagar's
wanted.
life goes off the rail.
But that's sport.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you play, you win, you lose, you learn, and I think it was a great learning experience for us. I have made several posts on this subject as well, how it feels to play against your close ones. But I think there's a mentality, there's a mindset that you need to adopt. You just say, if I win, great, I won. If I lose, someone who's very close to me won. And then in that way, there's very little pressure.
I think it's easier said than done. as
I've
well,
done it.
you know.
I've done it.
But I wonder if it changes. Like, okay,
If
with
it changes, if they are two world-class players. Yes.
No, that wasn't my question at all. I was saying with it being siblings and it being, okay, let's say a partner. And yeah, I think it's, or is it a matter of principle, as you're saying, that you have this thing that
Yeah.
regardless of who you're playing against,
Yes.
you will fight it out.
Yes. I think it's something which I believe in. And as I said, there are very few things that I'm like, oh, this has to be this way. But I just feel like chess is a sport. You have to fight, and you are here to fight. So let's see. Maybe today in India, this new atmosphere brings forth a great game from the Muzychuk sisters. That would be fun to
We
watch.
might have a manifestation of Sagar's principles if they fight, because I'm not kidding. Most tournaments that we've seen them play against each other, it does end in a draw. The sisters, of course, it's not pleasant to sort of, you also feel, are you spoiling the other person's tournament?
I agree.
And that's a difficult feeling. They both travel. So it's going to be interesting to watch that one. Not only do we have a face-off between the Muzychuk sisters, we have another all-India face-off between Vantika and Savita Shri. And Chat and I were talking about how for both of them, this is a crucial round to get started. Because at least on paper, they're the two underdogs of the event.
Correct. I agree. And I think the one who wins this game will definitely have a better tournament than the other player, because they would get their scoreboard started. And there we see on the screen, all the players have taken up their seats. We have 4 arbiters in the venue. We have several journalists who have come. We can also see there Amruta. We can see a few other people.
Amruta को आप immediately spot कर लेते हो, मैंने देखा है. As in, no matter what Sagar's commentating, the eyes, it's like the eyes are always on the target.
Arey.
ऐसे ही पकड़ा था क्या टूर्नामेंट में?
हाँ, tournament में we both met and we fell in love and all of that, but that
Different stream.
different stream for that. We have now the broadcast ready, the board ready for round number 2 and the most exciting game. I'm going to put it on. Anna versus Maria Muzychuk. Let's have that game and let's also know from Ashwin what is the status. All okay, shaky.
So we're still working on it, but we do hope to fix it very, very
the
soon.
heart
Chat with the heart rate
कुछ
monitors.
भी बोलो, तुम्हारा हार्ट रेट बढ़िया चल रहा है तानिया.
मेरा तो 85 stable.
किसी का आया नहीं आया, तानिया का हार्ट रेट है. दोस्तों, enjoy that. And also let's have the camera on the Muzychuk sisters. Let's see from their expressions, Tania, what can we deduce, because I know you are like Sherlock Holmes, you know, you can
What?
see
कुछ
from the
भी?
face.
How am I like Sherlock Holmes? कुछ भी चल रहा है.
Producer saab, director saab, can we have Tania
Yeah.
Anna and Maria on the screen?
So, one of the moments that I always find amazing about chess tournaments is the handshake moment. And we saw that on screen at the start of every game, players wishing each other all the best. Good luck fight. Andar se to obviously blanda kar do yaar, jaldi se jeetne do. But that sportsmanship, it's always so nice to watch that.
Correct. And by the way, this is Harika versus Oliwia. And if we can go to Maria and Anna, that would be great. The game has started off with Rui Lopez, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and there we have them on the screen. Bishop b5, Rui Lopez on the board, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, and castles. And if we just can zoom into them, look at this. They are thinking very seriously. I think, Tania, today is the day.
Is it the day?
Today is the day when they might play, and it will be a great fight, and maybe I will be right.
Today they will play and you will be right. Well, it always comes true, whatever you say.
Oh, nice. भाई तानिया में एक hidden rapper है दोस्तों. She is a very good rapper, and I think Tania, if
Sherlock Holmes, the
today
rapper.
today we'll
कुछ
keep
भी.
थोड़ा एक ये रखते हैं.
ठीक है, done
ठीक
है.
है.
But you have to be part of it also.
I am not so talented.
You just
ठीक है.
made an entire bar right now about how they will play and you might be right. You made it all rhyme, and that's not a crime. So I say that with all your might, you will also have to shine.
भाई दोस्तों, तानिया ओपी हो जाए चैट में for this wonderful rapper that we have here. And the thing is, I think, Tania, what we'll do is, if today Maria and Anna play, like they fight, okay, it's not a draw, like a quick draw, then you make a rap song on them fighting.
Okay, so you know what? Let's do it this way. If this game lasts more than 25 moves, more than 25 moves,
तो हो जाए.
हो जाए.
अरे
if it doesn't, तो भी हो जाए.
तो भी अरे
नहीं, आप करोगे.
मैं
और नहीं तो क्या?
अरे मैं क्यों भाई? ठीक है, चलो ले लिया.
Done it. Challenge accepted. So chat, Sagar dropping bars if this ends in less than 25.
Bishop c5, Maria Muzychuk, that's a great fighting move. Nice move. And now Anna wants to maybe play c3, d4. ये तो हो जाएगा तो मजा ही आ जाए. And if they wanted to draw, Tania, if they wanted to draw, they wouldn't be thinking so much. They would have played their moves quickly.
I mean, it is a bit surprising that Maria's already taken almost 2 minutes on the clock, right? And it's all right now still part of the theory. I think they're just still figuring out what is, a way to keep things calm. And we've got the sisters on the screen. Anna, we saw there looking up at this at the board display as well. We'll come back to this, Sagar. It's still early days in this one. Let's do a quick opening tour of our other games.
Okay.
And I want to go to the star player from round 1, who was Humpy, who just amazed us with that spectacular win that she had.
2 winners of round 1 facing off against each other. And by the way, Tania, we didn't show our chat the standings after round 1. Can we quickly do that?
Yes, let's take a look at where we stand going into round 2 of the first ever Tata Steel Chess India Rapid Women's event. And there we have it.
So Anna Ushenina, Nana Dzagnidze, Koneru, Humpy, and Maria Muzychuk all on 1 point. Then we have Vaishali and Harika on half, Anna, Savita, Oliwia, and Vantika on 0.
So we had 4 decisive games and the 1 draw against Vaishali and Harika. Of course, long tournament to go. There are going to be 9 rapid games played over 3 days. 3 games every day, Sagar. So we're just getting started.
Absolutely. Okay, so going to the game of Humpy versus Anna Ushenina. It started off with d4, which is Humpy's favorite move. And then we had
What's your
Queen's
favorite
Gambit.
move to start with?
D4, I play a lot. You know,
D4.
yeah, I think we
Same.
have a very similar repertoire. In fact, one of the openings that you like a lot against King's Indian, the Zamish system, is what I used to like a lot.
I love that
Yeah.
opening.
And I've seen a lot of your games, Abhijit Gupta's games, and you guys have been like sort of playing that line again and again. So guys, if you want a good antidote against King's Indian,
Samish is a great line to look at. It's attacking, it's aggressive, it's also kind of takes you away from the classical King's Indian setup where black gets this free hand on the king side. I've played some games that I'm really proud of in the Samish. So yeah, I'm not surprised that you've been inspired by them, Sagar.
yeah. Knight c3, we had that on the board. Bishop e7, so a very typical Queen's Gambit declined. h6, Humpy goes bishop h4. D takes c4. Now this is a small surprise to me because generally you castle here as black. You then go knight e4, which is the Lasker system, or you play b6, which is the Tata cover variation. T takes c4, and Humpy says, thank you, I'll play e3 now. And I think we have now shifted, Tania, into Queen's Gambit accepted territory with the bishop on h4, which generally is back on c1. So I think a good line for Humpy in general. She's got into a pretty good opening position.
I think in general, these symmetrical pawn structures are fine for both white and black. If we see the pawn structures are identical, so we call them, symmetry in chess. And the only thing that works for white in this situation, which gives white the slight edge, is activity of pieces.
Correct.
As you mentioned, the bishop is not on c1, it's already out. White's pieces are more, well, in a way, dominating, but black is super solid with no weaknesses. This is going to be a long fight, and I think so far it's quite even, so we can move on to our next board.
Were you surprised, Tania, with the move knight takes d4 instead of e takes d4? Because I really thought that Humpy would take back with the pawn, get that isolated pawn, and say, it's a very typical position to play.
I think it's all about approaches. Sagar, very often some players with e takes d4, the dynamics completely change. You see the pawn structure changing, plans change. White gives up this weakness on d4, but then starts playing for an attack. You start playing for a d5 break. You start playing for lining up a battery along b1 and h7 diagonals. So it's a very different kind of position. Knight d4 is a slower game. It's a slower approach where you say, my pieces are slightly more active than yours. You don't have any weaknesses, but you will be a little passive.
Got it. Okay, so I think it was just an approach that Humpy wanted to take in this game. And right now the position is around equal. So should we go to the game of...
Let's take a look at the Nana Vaishali board.
Nana Dzagnidze versus Vaishali, and we have some kind of a very solid, I call this the solid Grunfeld, because after g3 on move number 3, instead of playing this d5, which kind of denotes the Grunfeld, you support that pawn with c6, and that is a very solid way to play the opening. And so after knight f3, bishop g7, bishop g2, d5, castles, a4 on the board. Very interesting. There are many moves here. Queen a4, queen b3, there's knight c3, there are many things that can be done. Also you can take, but went a4, a5, bishop f4, knight a6. Vaishali is like, there's a weakness on b4, I'm coming there. And now we've reached a position after queen c1, dc, knight a3. And Tania, what are your feelings about this position?
I'll tell you one thing about Nana. She is not a theoretical player. Nana is all about oh na 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 re na to theory. Her main plan is to just get a middle game where you can fight it out and get a game to play. She doesn't want to go into theoretical battles with a player.
भाई तानिया जोक मारने के बाद फिर she continues, normally हंसने भी नहीं दे रही है.
Why were you laughing? Did I say something that you disagree with?
No, I just okay. Go on. Yes, it's very enjoyable. Yeah.
And this is exactly what happened in this one, Sagar. I think with A4, if we just back up, this is an important and instructive moment. If we back up to move number 7, if that's on our board,
Yeah.
A5 is such a nice move because it simply takes control of the B4 square, and most importantly, black hasn't developed that B8 knight on D7 yet. So what black says is, I want to, instead of taking that out knight in the center on D7, it's still on B8, I will reroute it to the B4 square because you have committed this move A4.
Right. Right. So all pawn pushes have their drawbacks, and here it weakened the B4 square, and we now have knight A3 on the board. And Tanya, whenever you have a good chess question, please do ask our chat because we have prepared the chat chess moves. So then the chat can join in and guess some moves.
Also, I'll see how much chat has actually picked up from all your improving chess and all your Chess Base India streams. Sagar, who was it who mentioned that a player actually learned how to play and is now playing? Was it Kevin who mentioned this, that some players in Singapore watching Chess Base India streams have now started playing in tournaments?
No, he said that there's one of his student who was not following Chess Base India, and there was one very important analysis which was done, and then she went and she lost, and then because she didn't watch that analysis, so then she started watching like every day,
Everything.
and then she like stopped playing chess.
Oh dear.
No, she might be a good player. I don't know what happened next, but
Chat, we will find out. Kevin, tell us what happened after the Chess Base India video marathon that she took on. But you're absolutely right. We should take a look at chat and how awake and alert they are. But right now, it's such a strategic fight. Bishop e6 has been played. Nana will pick up that pawn on c4 with the knight. Black will transplant. I don't know if transplant is the right word, but I think just plant. Plant that knight to b4 and not move from there.
Right.
So it's still a very equalish position.
yeah, looks around equal. Let's go to the next game, Vantika versus Savita. Shall we go there? The battle of two youngsters.
Let's do it. And it is a King's Indian setup. We were talking about it. And Sagar, take us through.
You know, I can just say it was this sort of fianchetto system in the King's Indian, but the position which we have reached on the board is so typical of these two youngsters.
Wait, you wanted to ask Chat a question? Let's go to the live board. Chat, white has played rook e1. Can black take the pawn on e4? Yes or no? They have to calculate a little bit.
Very tough
This is
question.
a tough one, Chat. This will take a bit of
Tanya is like,
thinking.
directly first question में 10th grade का question first standard में पूछ लिया है. But okay, let's see. If she plays a5, she doesn't take it. Take, and guys, what should white play in this position, right?
Chat, you have 10 seconds to answer that one.
Only 10.
Only 10 because I was wanting them to calculate. This was, strict Tania question. But you've got the position on the board. So let's see if chat gets it. After queen e4 in this position, how does white respond?
Yes.
They've got the idea.
They
They've got
have
the idea.
got the idea of disco. There is a discovery attack here, but
Every time you say disco, you have to do the step.
okay.
It's the time to disco. Yeah. Yeah. So you were saying about disco.
Do we also shake our head?
Yes, every time we get it.
Okay. So the move here that chat has mentioned, and let's go and check our chat chess moves, guys. Bishop h6 is what everyone wants to do, but unfortunately, that is a bad move because it looks active. You're giving up your rook here. Take, king g2, bishop h6. So Tanya, what's the right move? Can you please
But
tell us?
first, it's the time. It's Sagar.
Huh.
I'm waiting. It's the time to disco. The idea is correct.
Okay.
You have to do a disco in this position, but the right way to do it, and some of you in chat got it, the move is bishop d2. You fall back with the bishop, you stop this idea of queen e1, you protect your rook, and on point, that rook on e8 falls. If queen takes c2, intermezzo with rook e8 check before you pick up the queen.
बहुत बुरा लगा, दिल से बुरा लगा, and this is over. In fact, you don't even take the queen, Tanya. You just go bishop h6 and mate.
Oh, that is
Oh,
brutal.
brutal.
That is brutal.
And by the way, the people who got it right, and you guys doing amazing. Vignesh, Beloglavi, Sanchita, Nikhil, Khushi, Vishnu, Aryan, Trishit, Aryan, and Arka. Well done, guys. Brilliant job. Let's go back to the game, and that's why Savita Shri did not take the pawn, and she went a5 on the board, then rook a d1 and queen c7. So, Tanya, I think Vantika is a very classical player. She's very good at sort of recognizing positional factors in a position, making the best moves. She wants to play accurate chess, right? She is just built that way. Prepare well, play the right systems, don't weaken your position. On the other hand, Savita is this fighter who comes to the board and is like, opening theory, I didn't know. Practically, I thought this is the best move. This is the better move, but I think psychologically I would do this. This kind of a fighter. And this is what we see on the board as well. Savita doesn't care that she's got a bad opening position. She just wants to fight.
That said, it's going to be a bit of a fight for Black in this position. She will, of course, put all her strength out in it, but I want to talk about what we have on the board right now, Sagar. And the thing is that White has, even though materially it's equal, White has a huge space advantage. White's pieces are all developed. The rooks are in the center. Talking, oh my god.
What? Oh. this is the move that...
What is knight b5?
Wow, what a move by
What a
Vantika
move.
Agrawal here.
I was talking about all these positional strategic factors, space advantage here, lead in development. Vantika goes like knight b5, sacrifice. We've got to take a look at what's happening. It's, of course, directed towards the weakness of the d6 pawn. Sagar, let's break this down. If Black takes that knight on b5, the other knight jumps in with knight
Attacking
b5.
the queen and the pawn. Let's say you go to b6.
You pick up the pawn on d6.
In fact, you can take with the knight, which is fine, but a better move is rook d6, which traps the queen. The queen is trapped.
Oh my god. No squares. Nothing to come in the middle of this attack. Nothing landing on c6.
Nowhere.
That is game over. So you can't go queen to b6. You probably have to make a move like queen e7 or queen b8.
Right.
But the problem with that is after knight takes d6, now the rook on e8 is attacked, plus the knight on c5 is attacked. With no queen defending that knight on c5, White will end up winning the material back. Knight b5, what a stellar move.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's actually a opening trap, Tanya, that is played. Although Savita didn't play this directly to c7. It happens in that line. She actually went to e7 and then went to c7. So she actually wasted more time than normal. And Vantika has got things rolling in her favor. And this is exactly the kind of thing you don't want. That you are not prepared in the opening and you just simply get blown away by some kind of preparation.
And we see Vantika on our screen, Sagar. She can feel it that knight b5 is such a strong move. She's close to getting a huge advantage in this game. And it was a kind of position where you can play slowly and build up on a space advantage. But life is all about timing. She spots that this is the time for this tactical trick. Knight b5 on the board. Life is going to be very difficult after this for Savita.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can still see Savita there confidently making her move queen to e7. After taking one of the knights, but you can sense it from within that she knows she is in trouble here. So yeah, it's not going to be easy for and there you go. Vantika has taken the pawn on d6 here. Now the rook is hanging and also the knight on c5 is hanging. So Tanya, White is going to get back a lot of material here.
Queen e7 was the only move, Sagar, because at least you defend that rook and now you can defend the c5 knight, give up the rook, pick up two pieces, but you've also lost a bunch of the central pawns, which was so important in this position for Black. Huge advantage to White, but of course, it's still a task to convert it into a full point.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And guys, mark my words, it's going to be a fighting game. Savita is not going to give up. Tanya, what is happening in the game that we were looking forward to? Anna versus Maria Muzychuk. Are they still fighting? Are we closing in on move 25? is the wrap going to happen? So many questions. Can we have Anna and Maria on the screen, guys? So it happened this way. They went after bishop c5, c3 by Anna, b5, bishop c2, d5, d4 played, de, knight d2, knight d2. Very interesting. I'm
This
not
is
aware.
theory, by the
Maybe
way.
it should be.
This is
It
a
should be.
theory
I
in
was
the
not aware.
archangels.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is that white takes advantage of not only the c5 bishop under attack, but after you pick up the knight on f3, I'll take it with my queen and attack your c6 knight as well.
Right.
So attack pe attack.
Attack pe attack, badhiya attack. And dosto, we have Sarvanan in the chat who is actually here. He is at the venue. He's come here to sort of cover the event. And he says, were you really looking forward to Muzychuk fight?
See, Sara knows. He knows that these two sisters, it is, I don't know if he's aware of the dare we've got going on. Well, Sarvanan, Sagar believes that today is the day that we will see Anna and Maria battle it out to the end. I'm still expecting it to dwindle out into a draw. And we will see what happens. But coming to the position that we had after snapping up that knight on f3, picking it up with the queen, we had a couple of more moves. Now the material is equal, but black picked up the pawn, and look at that center that we've got after picking up that pawn on d4.
Malab, Tania, I don't know why would we now think that this will end in a draw, because at this point they both have made quite a lot of effort and they are thinking very hard. In fact, Maria is down to 6 minutes on her clock. Anna has 8 minutes. So definitely a big fight going on. I think one of the things that white is going in white's favor is this rook looking opposite the queen, and this d4 pawn is going to fall. And you can see there both the sisters, if we can just have our full screen view here.
I'm telling you, this will end in a draw. I just don't know if it will be under 25 moves or not. I'll tell you one of the potential lines that can happen in this kind of a position is, let's say what move comes to your mind here, Sagar? Make a move.
For black?
Yes.
I think maybe rook e8, just a very solid move in the position, bringing the rook into the center this way.
The one thing you have to be careful about is that white is threatening to take on f6. Let's say bishop f6, and I'll pick up the c5 pawn. And now suddenly your d4 pawn is hanging, as well as my rook on the d file with the pin on d7 is going to be tricky to handle.
Correct. Yeah, that looks like a great solution here, what you have just mentioned. But Tania, there's a very crazy move that can happen here, and I just don't understand it. The engine points that out to me, and the move is bishop c6. I mean, is it even possible humanly to find this move? And the point is, if you take here rook c8, and it kind of solves.
Attack pe attack. That's crazy. And the point is that you don't have a good square for the queen where you can defend the knight on c5. This is computer chess.
Yes. And I think this is not something that Maria would be able to look at it from a distance. So maybe okay, Tania is laughing at a super chat which I have to read.
We don't
know. Tania. Vishrut Krishna says, "अरे Peter Leko के और बाल उड़ गए." दोस्तों, I would any day take myself to be called as Peter Leko.
I would take it.
Because then if I am, if I can commentate like him or play chess like him, that would be amazing. By the way, rook e8 on the board. Tania, is it going to be the same line which you just mentioned? Bishop f6.
We just
knight
called this
c5.
out. But has bishop c6 been seen? That is the big question.
It's very important. If you don't see it, white would gain an advantage there.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's see. By the way, Adam Masek, who is, I think, watching this from somewhere where the time is 3 a.m., says that he cannot go to sleep because it's so exciting.
You're making all the right choices in life right now, Adam. Well done.
And let's quickly go to the game which we haven't seen yet, which is Harika versus Oliwia Kiolbasa. I love white's position. Dosto, just a moment of appreciation for the bishop on g2. Kya hi bishop?
क्या ही बिशप है, दिल ही जीत लिया.
बिशप मतलब बिशप हो तो ऐसा, ये मतलब वो कौन सा वो रहता है ना, वो क्या शर्मा जी का बेटा, समथिंग वेर वी से देखो बाजू वाला बच्चा कितना अच्छा
Oh.
है. सो दिस बिशप ऑन C8 इज बीइंग सेड, देखो G2 बिशप, लर्न फ्रॉम इट, become like him in life.
It's inspirational. It's an inspirational bishop. But you know what makes this bishop even more special is that Sharma ji का जो neighbor है ना, जो गुप्ता जी है, उनका जो बेटा है, वो तो totally ही gone case है. So what makes this bishop even more special is the black's bishop on C8 is so sad. So the contrast of the two put together, Sagar,
Exactly.
that's what it's about.
That's what makes life very tough. You know, this constant comparison, which bishop on C8 cannot have it. He's like, why do people want me to do something in life? I'll just sit on C8. But then the rook on A8 is like, bhai, tu kuch kar.
It's not just the
like-
beta who's suffering, you know, like the beta ki mom. She's like कि मैं
कुछ
कितना
बन।
कुछ बन, मैं इतनी
But
उतना
we want you to.
do something in life.
And look how the bishop on G2 sacrificed. Go, you also go. Sacrifice yourself.
Oh my god, and the bishop on G2 just decided to trade off.
Just putting an end to this entire beautiful story that we were weaving. Guys, kya hi?
Oh my god. Okay, timing. Life is all about timing.
Yeah, timing. And the thing is, you need to give up yourself so that others in your camp can live a beautiful life. Like
sacrifice
now the
yourself.
knight is feeling proud about itself. This is a leadership quality. The bishop just showed that, you know, I don't need to win the game. I will create a weakness and let the knight and rook do the talking.
And you know what this is? This is a good knight versus a bad bishop endgame. Also, that pawn on c6, like you said, we were singing sonnets for this bishop on g2. And immediately, Harika took a decision, which is why, Sagar, she's there and we are here.
Right.
To trade off on c6, because she said the bishop has done its job. It needs to get rid of the only active piece in black's camp, takes it away, creates a pawn weakness forever on c6. The knight on c4 will jump to e5 or to a5, targeting that pawn on c6. Rook will come to c1. You will end up losing this pawn, and that's how you convert a static advantage, like an active bishop, to a material advantage, which will be the c6 pawn.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. But one good thing that has happened for Oliwia is that her bishop is now activated. And by the way, Tania, if we are not mistaken, this last round might have been the first ever loss of Oliwia on India in Indian soil, right? Because she didn't lose a game in the Olympiad. Is that true? She was on 9 out of 9. Then she was on 9.5 out of 10. I don't know what happened in the last round. But
I'm not sure if she played the last round, actually.
I think this game against Anna Ushenina was her first loss, and maybe she's right now staring at a second defeat against Harika. Harika is a boss when it comes to positional play.
Oh god.
Let's see how she converts
A
this.
beast. And look at this, targeting that c6 pawn immediately with the move rook to d6. And if you move a bishop to b7, defending that pawn, it's a poor defender. The knight will jump to a5. The rook can come to d7, attack that bishop. Imagine, you know what? After bishop b7, rook d7, knight d6. It's so ugly for black.
Tania, I would never make this move bishop b7. It's like, you know, you just want to get rid of the pawn. I would even do this here and give up this pawn and maybe even keep the bishop on b7 and give it this fresh diagonal. Maybe. I'm just saying that should be tried.
I 100% agree, but even in those positions, ideas like rook c7, knight d6 put so much pressure. King e7, trying to get king into the play.
Oliwia is like, go take the pawn. I need my bishop to be free. Okay, so we can agree that Harika is better. Right?
100%.
Can we quickly go to Humpy's game, because we had seen that as being very equalish, symmetrical game, and I think our assessment has not yet changed. It's still symmetrical. I mean, the only difference is that Humpy's bishop looks beautiful while Anna's bishop is a slightly sort of passive. But I like black's position.
I'll take white here. You know,
Really?
I'll take you on white here. Why? Because I am dreaming of moves like knight e4, knight c5. I want to just slowly build up. You're absolutely right that nothing is very wrong in black's camp. But you know, it's just a little passive.
But
It's
you know,
just a little
Tania,
less.
it just looks good. The thing is, at the core, where is black's weakness? There's no weakness. You know, all the pieces, knight may just jump I don't know, this knight on c6 not jumping somewhere. I wanted it to jump, but knight on f6
There's no
can
square.
go back, go to d5. I think it's around equal, but I get your point. Yeah, like it's not easy to play moves as black.
A good way to put it, as we do in chess, it's more equal for white than it is for black.
Got it. Got it. Let's see what is played here. Maybe next move Anna Ushenina tries to double down the c file. But for now, as Tania says, maybe a tiny bit advantage for white. Let's go to Vantika versus Savita. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
What
goodness.
is happening on the king side?
It's all over the pawns. The avalanche of pawns is just going down. Black's king. Oh, but she played king h1. She didn't go ahead. I think why not f5? You could have just launched in. What was the reason to stop in the tracks there?
I'll tell you the reason. F5 looks demolishing on the spot.
Yeah.
And super strong. But you know what Vantika's saying? I've got all the trump cards. I'm just going to keep the position as is. F5 is always in the air. You can never really stop it. I moved my king away from this diagonal just in case you're low on the clock. Deal with my threats. A threat is better than its execution. Stronger.
I agree to that. I like that quote, but Tania, f5, gf5, gf5, I think she was also worried that after knight g7, she would drop the f5 pawn. But here there was a nice pawn sacrifice with e6. And after fe6, you can maybe push your pawn to f6, but the knight is coming here. So it's not easy to figure out this. And in fact, the engines really prefer this pin here and stuff like that. But that's not how humans play, like queen f2 and so on. So that's the reason why king h1 was correct. Bishop d7 played. Okay, so this is looking around.
I'll tell you one thing, Sagar. F5 is going to land in this game at some point.
At
In
some
just a couple of moves, we will see the position blow up. And again, in driving seat is Vantika here. Even though it's two pieces. When there's this material imbalance of one side having two minor pieces for a rook, it's all about piece activity. And as we can see, black hasn't managed to create any... If everything is fine...
Okay, we are back. We are back. I think there was a small, very small lag, guys. But sorry for that. We are back now and should be good. Just refresh the stream. Okay. Shall we go to Anna versus Maria Muzychuk?
Oh my god, this is where there's so much... I told you, right? I told you, Sagar, but it... Oh my god! Chad, okay, wait. Chad, what do you think? I mean, the game is going to end in a draw. I told you it will end in a draw one way or the other.
No, we had a bet that it will go on for more than 25 moves. It has happened. And 25th move played. 26th move played King G2. Tania, get ready for your rap.
I don't have a... Oh my god, you know, with Anna...
Bet is a bet. But yeah, Vignesh ji, I agree with you.
But Chad, the game does end in a draw. Okay, but I agree with you. And... Oh, they're done. They're done. And 26... What is this? What is this joke being played on me by God here? I quit, okay? This is not happening right now. This is not happening.
Anna Maria, high five. Thank you guys for playing for just one more move than 25 moves. Ho jai Tania. They were like, we want to hear Tania, not Sagar. You know,
Okay,
that was the
give
thing.
me a beat. Give me a beat. I don't know what to say. This is so unfair with just 26 moves. Anna Maria Muzychuk. इस पे क्या करूँ मैं hook नहीं आता मुझे because I haven't studied rap की book.
Whoa!
खेला तुमने like a bit of a crook. Hey, why didn't you trade off those rooks?
Oh, what a beautiful one. Amazing job by Tania there. I think, guys,
Oh my god.
all those who want to hear Tania once a day, please let us know in the chat. We'll make that happen. Once
Just
a round,
making-
maybe.
Chess Base India clips incoming. But dude, I can't believe this went on till 26th move. Oh my, I'm just never having
Maybe the
any
rule
bets
book
with you.
said that 25 moves tak you have to play. I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure.
BT chat.
By the way, Humpy and Anna Ushenina have also drawn, and now we will have Tania do another rap on that game.
What? कुछ भी हो रहा है.
Okay, let's go very quickly to the game
Should
of
check my 118 by the way, while
118.
doing that rap on the spot. It was crazy. Okay. So we've got 2 draws so far. Humpy and Anna, you were pointing out, I liked Humpy's position, but like you said, Sagar, that black is super solid. Everything under control. It ended in a draw, but we've still got action on the other boards. And where do you want to go to? I think Nana's board. Nana versus
Dzagnidze
Vaishali.
Vaishali. Ooh, what a battle here. I like Black's position for the simple reason that her queen side looks much better poised than White's queen side. But on the other hand, the king is slightly alone here with the queen entering on h6. तो थोड़ा तो डर है दोनों साइड पे. It's not going to be easy.
But you know, Sagar, in life, for things to work, you need a lot of resources and things to fall into place. Over here, your queen will get to h6. But you don't have so much support for the queen to deliver a mate. And it's hard to imagine that attack working out. It looks pretty, but you don't have enough.
Right. The knight on a3 is like, I also want to come into the attack, but there's no way for it to join.
It's
and I
a
think
sad
this is the knight just creating the issues.
Yes, and also long term. Let's speak long term. Black has this queenside majority. Imagine an endgame. Dur ki socho. It can create a passed pawn which can be dangerous. Black has control on the c file. Both rooks looking nice. The knight on b4 can never be kicked out of that square.
Absolutely.
With no pawn on
And
a2.
knight a4 attacking b2.
You know what? I like Vaishali's position.
Yeah. And Vaishali doing it really well in this tournament. First, she had a better position against Harika, which ended in a draw. And now a better position against, slightly better position against Nana.
10 seconds for Vaishali. I
What?
didn't notice the clock. Oh my god, she played on 9 seconds on the clock. Queen b3 played.
And look at Nana. She's just not wasting time. She goes d5, but the engines favor Vaishali now. She must sack the knight on d5. Can she do it?
What?
No. She goes knight c2. That's also not bad, Tania.
You don't sack a piece when you've got 15
Exactly.
seconds. Knight c2, I like it, trying to take control of the c2 square. Nana says, I want to challenge your rooks, trade them off with rook c1, but now she can win a pawn on a3. She
took-
can go knight a3, she picks it up. Will Vaishali be a pawn up after all these trades? But watch out for queen d4 check in the end. Watch out for queen d4 check.
Bye. Don't go and get greedy like here. Don't take this pawn because then after rook c8. No, but rook c8, knight c8. So you must start with this check.
But it doesn't work because rook on c1 is hanging. f6, go
So
f6.
f6. And now you take and then somehow take. There's no check because king is here and your rook has oh, beautiful line there. By the way, knight a3 played. Are we going to witness that? Meanwhile, Nana Dzagnidze really focusing on the board. She has a few options here, Tania. Check on h6, check on d4, take the knight, take the rook.
Down to 15 seconds on the
Oh,
clock.
she
She
also
needs to
doesn't
make
have
a
time.
decision. She takes the pawn on the knight on a3. Sagar, correct decision. Vaishali finding all the
Rook
tactics.
c4.
Defends that rook. Also takes the d4 square under control. a5 pawn.
No, but Tania, now look, if we push d6, then the f6 square gets weakened. Right now, when you go here, you want to give this check. But there's this pawn here, so she can play d6. Did she play it? No,
She
she
goes
first
for
gives
queen
a check.
h6, but she can go d6 on the next move as
man,
well.
This will be crazy. If the d6 pawn moves in, e takes d6, knight f6 is a check.
Nana will find this because Nana finds moves like d6. I'm telling you, d6 incoming on the
No,
board.
she came back.
Oh, she came back.
And that means that Vaishali is out of the woods because she's also given to trade the queens here. And I think that's a good news for all the Vaishali fans here.
This is such a high stress position. Queen e3. Black can trade off the queens and start building pressure on the a3 pawn. I still like Black's position. Both players playing on seconds. Vaishali, the fighter, decides no endgames, gives a check on b2. Where are you going with your king?
Man, Vaishali, I would have on the first choice just exchanged the queens with so little time on the clock.
King
But she goes
h3.
king h3.
Now you just trade on c1, put your knight on c4 in the end.
Right. She goes rook c8,
A
but it's a
blunder,
blunder.
a blunder.
Because of rook b1 takes b5. Will Nana
Nana finds it. She finds the move rook b1 playing on seconds, and Vaishali will be shocked at seeing this on the board. The
Big
advantage
mistake.
just slips out of her hand, Sagar. This is why chess is so brutal.
Yeah, and this is where Nana showing all her experience and putting it to good use. This is a blunder because now the b6 knight is hanging, Tania. The game is over. Vaishali is now a
Wow.
piece down from being in the driver's seat. She has been outplayed.
What a turnaround. I don't know if I would term this as an outplayed. I think it's about one inaccuracy costing you the whole game after playing so well.
Yeah.
And now after King G2, everything under control. White has an extra piece. A player like Nana will not mess this up.
Yeah, true. And guys, as we say, this tournament is a lot about a learning experience for Vaishali, Savita, and them. And these are the brutal experiences which need to be, grasped firsthand if you want to become a world-class player. This was great play by Nana and also Vaishali blundering at some point. And now this game is in White's control. So let's shift to another game. Or you think there's a turnaround waiting?
I don't think there's a turnaround waiting, but I think this will end soon, and maybe we can just stay for a couple of moves more here, Sagar. Queen e2 played rook e1, and now picks up the a5 pawn. Well, f3 is attacked currently, right?
Nana, और उसको देना is not so easy. But Nana is like, take it, Vaishali. My knight will just save my king.
It's just one check.
Yeah, it's just one.
It's just one check. You can go rook c2 attacking the f2 knight, but white just defends it with the rook to f1 or queen to f1 and everything under control. So Sagar, this does look like that move rook b1 really took Vaishali by surprise, after which we witnessed a collapse there.
Yeah.
Things were under control. We can move on to another game.
Vantika Savita very quickly, and it has ended in a win for Vantika. That's a good solid win for the youngster. And let's go to Harika versus Oliwia Kiolbasa. Harika has 4 extra pawns here. 3.
3 extra pawns, but I know what you mean. It almost looks like an extra piece now with the bishop on h3 almost trapped.
Yes.
Once the king comes to f2, you just simply maneuver your knight to g5. I don't know if you can draw some arrows here, but imagine you go king f2, take away the g2 square, bring your knight, force a winning king pawn ending. Just a technical way to finish it off.
I like how Tania so nicely says, "Bhai, thoda kaam to kar. ऐसे ही बैठा है तू." Can you please have some arrows? Tania, you're so nice. So nice.
Because I think this is such a nice instructive way of showing how you can convert a win.
Absolutely. You're perfect, and I think that would have been a great plan here.
And now she gives up the g4 pawn. She will get the e4 pawn, but Harika with 3 extra pawns. By the way, Sagar, you pointed out that Harika is such a beast in these strategic fights. She has converted this game flawlessly.
Yeah, I agree with you. And first win for Harika after becoming a mother.
Nice. The first round she did draw against Vaishali, so her first win being a mom, that's always going to be a special one. And she mentioned in the opening ceremony yesterday that, this is the first. By the way, we do have a result.
Yeah.
Harika does win her game. We can see the players are setting up their pieces. The arbiter coming in with a result sheet, the score sheets there.
Yeah, it's always wonderful the job that is done by the arbiters. They are there, they are very alert. The moment the game ends, they are there to pick up the results, and it's a long day at the office for them as well, because there'll be 2 events that they have to look at and be very alert, because Rapid and Blitz, Tania, kuch bhi ho sakta hai. Tata Steel, you know what happens here.
We have seen turnarounds. I mean, last year it was Arjun Aragasi who just had a spectacular performance, winning both Rapid and Blitz. I think he lost in the tiebreak. But what a breakout moment, and few would have expected that to happen. There are always twists and turns, turnarounds. This is the second round. Sagar, we still have one more game going on.
Yeah.
So let's just quickly go. Vaishali still fighting.
Still fighting. Vaishali showing that she is a big fighter here, and she plays queen f4. By the way, Tania, you are good friends with Nana Dzagnidze, isn't that correct?
She is. I've known Nana since we were 10 years old. She's almost, I feel like she's almost like my sister, Sagar. We've stayed together in so many tournaments, grown up together, spent so much time. I really love her.
I think Nana has a lot of friends in India, right? Harika is a very good friend. I know Harika has played for a Georgian club as well. Nona, that's the name of that club. So Is there a reason, or just that Nana is just very friendly, very nice person to be with?
Yes, all of that. I think it's a bit of both. And she really enjoys the Indian culture. She's always had a good relationship with a lot of players from here. But like you said, Nana is one of those players which is a bit shy as well. She takes her time to open up. But once you're friends with her, she is so much fun. We've had those, crazy times at tournaments when after having a tough day, both of us would be like singing and dancing in the room to cheer each other up. So the friendship goes a long way back.
Wow, wonderful to hear that. And by the way, Nana has just won her game. Vaishali resigns, and once again in this round, we had 3 decisive games. One of the big perks of being a chess player is that you can have friends from all across the globe. And I think this is beautifully shown here at the Tata Steel Chess India. Yesterday at the opening dinner, we could see that players from all across the world were sitting together, eating food, talking about different things. It was very cool.
It was super cool, but also don't be fooled by the friendship, Sagar, it's true that off the board there is this, strong sense of being able to relate with each other. But when it comes to fighting it out, I think in those moments all friendship is forgotten, and it comes to really just trying to do your best to outplay the other opponent. And I really believe that in competitive sports you are very close to people, but it's a very different kind of a dynamic with friendship.
Absolutely. It's like you are having fun on one like few hours, and then immediately you're like, oh, tomorrow I have to play against her. That kind of a feeling. But still, I see that many of the players are able to sort of bifurcate those feelings.
Yes.
Especially, I see them in the Indian youngsters like Arjun and Nihal, such great friends of each other. Gukesh, they're always around them.
Prag and Nihal.
Prag and Nihal. So all these youngsters, they know they're going to face each other.
I'll tell you something. So we were at the one of the camps for the Olympiad, and I was attending a session with Ramesh, Prag, Nihal, and I think I'm not sure who else was there, but we were solving some position. And I'm not kidding, okay, chat. While Ramesh was setting up the board, and Nihal and Prag and we were thinking, and obviously, like, many times they would be far ahead, and I had to sort of catch up with them. But it was so amazing to watch. How Prag was like solving. He was literally thinking while playing with Nihal's hair. Like, he was twirling with Nihal's hair, and Nihal is also thinking on the board. Prag is just chilling, and that's when you realize, that there really is this really nice bond between these players. But also, they've said it themselves that it sort of inspires them to see each other perform well. It's like when you see your friend do well, you're more inspired, and the competition, it's a healthy competition. You feel that I want to get there as well.
Right. Very, very rightly put there. And by the way, a few people in the chat were asking who is the favorite for this tournament. So Tania, why don't we quickly have a look at the sort of player list and just tell them about the ratings till we have the standings coming up. Shall we do that?
Let's do it.
So first we have Maria Muzychuk, who's the top seed here. She has a rating of 2476 in rapid. Then next up we have Nana Dzagnidze, whose rating is 2475. Then we have Harika, who's also rated 2475. So you can see that the top 3 seeds just have a difference of 1 elo point again in between them. Humpy is 2474. So again, that's just 1 elo point away. And remember, the world ranking that we have mentioned on these cards is their classical ranking. So you will see Maria Muzychuk is world number 7. Nana Dzagnidze is world number 9. Harika is world number 11. Humpy is world number 3. What a tournament we have. And Anna Muzychuk, world number 8. Rapid rating of 2458. And Anna Ushenina is 2371. Her rating is 28. So maybe I would put it this way. We have Maria Muzychuk, Nana Dzagnidze, Harika, Humpy, and Anna Muzychuk. These 5 players for me are the favorites. One of them to win the tournament. Although Anna Ushenina has shown like she has all the experience. And then we have the young guns, Vaishali, Savita, Oliwia, and Vantika.
I think you're absolutely right with that analysis, Sagar. I think you've got these 5 players who are these established elite. They are in the top 5, top 10 players of the world in all 3 rapid blitz classical rankings. And they're fighting it out. Definitely it'll be hard to bet against them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it comes down to these other 5 players because they are so inspired and ambitious in this tournament. They're definitely going to spoil the tournament for these people as much as they can.
Absolutely.
So it's, I think it was Maria Muzychuk who yesterday, again at the opening ceremony, mentioned that if she finishes in the top 3 in this field, she would be happy with that
Really?
performance. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of respect for this field.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, because she's the former world champion, like, undisputed world champion, and she is amazing chess player. And if she says top 3 is good for her, well, that just talks a lot about the strength. And we have the pairings up for the round 3, so let's go through them. And Tania, what are your thoughts on these pairings now? It's Maria Muzychuk versus Humpy. Will Humpy do a double against both the Muzychuk
Oh my
sisters?
god, that would be a lot for the family to take. I think Humpy beat Anna in the first round. She's playing against Maria. Maria's also going to be inspired to get that revenge from her sister. So it's going to be an interesting clash between these 2 players. We've got Savita, who's had a tough event so far with the first 2 losses, I think. She will be playing against
Yeah.
Anna Muzychuk. For Anna, of course, it is a game that she wants to strike at. Whenever there's a player who's an underdog in an event, an elite player will always target them. That's just how chess
I
is.
agree. And I think Savita really needs to play her best chess. And it's not about winning or losing for her. It's all about gaining experience. But she would really like to get on the scoreboard.
And it is about getting on that scoreboard to get that confidence and momentum going, because this kind of an event can be such a spin and a tilt for a player. Everything is happening so fast. You've got a round after a round super quick.
Yeah, 2 hours of commentary done. We didn't even realize.
Thanks,
ऐसा लगा अभी
Sagar. I'm
शुरू
cool
हुआ.
like that. So Vaishali against Vantika. What a matchup. Again, an all-Indian clash over there. And hard to pick a favorite in this one. Both were playing in the Olympiad. Vaishali for team A, Vantika for team B. Both are reasonably experienced players. Both are youngsters, the upcoming talents of the country. We've got Oliwia against Nana. Nana would be my favorite in this one. I think it's hard to bet against her, but of course, Oliwia is capable of a big upset.
Yeah.
And finally, we got Anna against Harika. What do you think about that one?
I think it's going to be a very important clash there because Harika back in form after her win against Oliwia, and Anna has been super solid here, winning her first game against Oliwia and then holding Humpy. So that's going to be a clash to look forward to. Let's have a look at the standings now. We have Nana Dzagnidze as the sole leader of the tournament with 2 points. Tania, quite early in the tournament, already a sole leader.
I'm not surprised. Nana, as you mentioned, is one of the heavy favorites, and I think we're going to see a lot of leapfrogging in the 3rd round, but it's going to be amongst these top 3 players that we've got here. Well, actually, we've got 2 players, no, 1 player on 2 points, and then the rest of the 4 are at 1.5. So it's a very close fight, a very, very packed leaderboard at the top.
Yeah, and this is going to be the last round for today in the women's section. Then we'll have a break of half an hour to 45 minutes. And then we'll have the first round of the open section, which will begin at 4 p.m. So a lot of chess coming your way, guys. It's going to be... Kolkata is bubbling with chess. If you are in Kolkata, come to the National Library.
To see us,
Yes.
Sagar and I. But also in the open section, we've got Hikaru playing, we've got Wesley playing, we've got Nordebek playing, we've got Nihal, we've got
Arjun,
Gukesh.
with
Oh
it.
my god.
Yesterday Anand was like, okay, I'm talking about almost all the players here. There's Mohammad Diaro. He's like, okay, I need to stop somewhere. He took 8 names of players who are really good out of 10.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, the rest are also great. So, somewhere this tournament is so good. And someone in the super chat has mentioned that, last tournament has had a little build up compared to last year. But, guys, this time the chess is going to speak for itself. This time we are going to have players play some amazing chess as this tournament builds up. And also remember, there's a rest day in between.
And that just goes on to say the kind of grueling format this has. The players we start at 12 at noon, we finish at 7. So the players are much well-deserved break as well as for everyone involved. Then we will go on to the Blitz. So we first finish the Rapid. Once we have a winner of a Rapid, there will be a rest day on the second. And then we've got 2 days of thrilling Blitz action. It's going to be non-stop here. Sagar, the day is just getting started, even though the women will play the final round of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be great fun. And actually, it's never easy to be commentators for two events at a stretch for 6 to 7 hours. But when I got to know that it's going to be Tania who's going to be the partner here, it was just easy because, even when someone does commentary, there has to be a lot of sort of back and forth. You need to have that energy flowing and so on. And I mean, it's just amazing to have you here, Tanya.
Thank you. I think it's just I also, Sagar, really feel like this tournament would be impossible to work and commentate if it's not with somebody who you feel there is a rhythm or a flow with. And also, I think there's this amazing community that you have built over the last many years with Chess Base India. So of course, commentating here, it's going to be 7 long hours, but I think it's going to be so much fun. And most importantly, like you said, the players here, the chess that's going to happen, I think that's going to give us so much energy.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, people tell me it's not Kolkata, it's Kolkata. Is that true?
So what is the right pronunciation? I mean, how do you say? Do you call it? Do you still call it Calcutta? Do you
No,
say Kolkata?
I call it Kolkata.
I still do Calcutta and Bombay. Like it's so maybe because I'm an old soul.
Hmm.
It's very difficult for me to switch to Mumbai and Kolkata.
Yeah, I think all those who say like Calcutta, Bombay, they have some kind of things like they are very particular about their tastes and stuff. Like they don't want to change. Like.
Are you calling me not
No,
flexible?
I'm calling you like a connoisseur of fine taste or something like that. You don't want to change. You just want that thing that you like.
I just feel like I don't know. It's sort of interesting chat. Tell me, what is it for you? Is it Kolkata or do you say as Kolkata? Or is it still Calcutta in your heart? By the way, there's a way of figuring out how flexible somebody is. Do you know that?
How?
So, our thumb is an indicator of that. So if you just do like this.
You're talking about physical flexibility.
No, this is an actual way of measuring your emotional as well as like your mental flexibility. It's a sort of a representation of that. So, you have your thumb and how much you can take it back. Some people's thumb will go all the way back and touch their wrist almost. Like they're super flexible. So, Sagar, you might be on point with what you said about me because actually I can't take my thumb back. It's crazy. What's it like for you? हाँ ये दे ऐसे ही कर लो सीधा रखो.
Look at the flexibility. Guys, don't fall for all these tricks that Tanya comes up with.
It's not a trick. This is okay. I don't know if it's a scientific fact, or there have been any statistical studies, but I've actually, anecdotally speaking, I have noticed it in many people, and you can check with your friends if you think somebody is flexible.
Don't
Look
check
at that.
with your friends, those.
Don't break it in an attempt to be flexible, though.
By the way, we have Ashwin here. Ashwin, how are things going? We can have an update from him regarding heart rate. How is it?
There are a few issues, but Humpy's heart rate is working. Board one.
Oh wow!
Humpy is working. And any else that we can focus on?
I will tell you.
Okay.
If there is anything else, but Humpy is board one.
Okay, let's
Big
go.
Big news, chat. We've got.
1-0.
Wow. Okay, so Humpy versus Maria Muzychuk is the round that we are going to really have fun watching. And 116. Humpy's heart rate really rising up quick. Can we have Humpy and Maria Muzychuk on the screen? There we have. This is.
Let's get a full screen blow up of our players, Sagar, and get that handshake moment at the start of the game if we can.
Yeah, this is Vaishali and Vantika right now on our screen. If we can have Humpy and Maria Muzychuk, that would be cool.
Just seconds away from liftoff. It would be cool to also get, and there we have it. We see handshakes. Nana against Oliwia. It's go time.
Yeah. E4 on the board by Maria e5, and look at Humpy. She is playing. This is Nana Dzagnidze versus Oliwia Kiolbasa on our screen, and we can quickly go to Humpy versus Muzychuk, and this is the Petrov on the board.
That is a very solid opening to start with. But I also feel, said that it's Petrov, a lot of us have this feeling that, if it's a Petrov, it's going to be a boring, dull game. But we've seen with games of Fabiano Caruana, of Jan Nepomniachtchi, that Petrov has a lot of poison, a lot of hidden poison in it still, and can actually very often with a kingside attack that white can launch, provide fireworks. Humpy against Maria, Humpy choosing the Petrov with the black pieces. I think the way the day has gone, Humpy wouldn't mind if it's a slow, solid game.
Yeah,
But I have a feeling that Maria might try to make it complicated.
correct, correct. By the way, director Saab, this is not Humpy versus Maria. This is Nana Dzagnidze versus Oliwia. If we can have Humpy on the screen, yeah, right behind. And she's played c4, and one of the main moves here is c6. Yes, there we have Humpy and Nana on and Maria.
By the way, Sauradeep correctly pointing out that Humpy does play a lot of Petrov. The Petrov is one of her pet lines.
Yes.
Also,
You have to be very alert, Tanya, putting in all these little touches to her commentary. If you are not alert, you will miss it.
blink and miss. Sagar, I want to ask the chat, how many of them know the alternative name of Petrov?
Nice.
There's one more name. Because I know that you're also a lot into this and you talk so much about the history of the game and, these kind of really fun facts about it. So I want to know how much of our chat knows the other name for Petrov.
Very good. Very good question. And not bad. Not bad.
That's very cool, actually, because that is, the more, I think, old school way of saying the Petrov.
Yeah. I think all the Russian players say it's the Russian defense.
Yes.
And that's how it is. I think it happens a lot with some openings, like it's Benko Gambit. But I think all the Russian players say Volga Gambit. I think there are these few names which can always be sort of debated.
Interchanged. And maybe in a region they were played more or started, like a lot of players started playing the Petrov.
Correct.
And it kind of, even if whoever played it first, if it picks up in popularity there, so then it kind of gets a localized name.
Right. Absolutely. By the way, knight c3 on the board here. And if you take here, which is a possibility, b takes, d takes c4, bishop takes c4. This is the kind of imbalanced position that both sides can play for a win from here. It's not like that dull, drawish, boring Petrov. And I think we'll have an exciting game for sure.
Well, while this is a Petrov that will get exciting at some point, Sagar, we've already got a lot of thrilling opening outcomes in some of the other boards. And I want to jump over to the Anna Ushenina Harika matchup.
Okay, there we go. And Tanya, the first thing that I notice after seeing this position, the final position on the board, is a reversed Grunfeld. No? It's like white is playing like black.
Yes.
And black is playing like white.
So white has an extra move in the Grunfeld.
And that could mean a lot.
It usually would mean a lot, and bishop e6, but Harika has a very good understanding of these positions as well. Bishop e6 played, and I see our Evalbar really likes white's position out of the opening.
Yeah.
But Sagar, I think it's underestimating black currently.
Maybe, yes, you're right, Tanya, but white can quickly put pressure on these weak pawns. Queen a4, knight c3, rook d1, bishop g5. I mean, all pieces have a role which puts pressure on d5 pawn.
So what you're saying is that because of black's pawn structure, black is not going to finish development in time. Give black just two moves. Bishop e7, short castle, rook c8, black is fine. Maybe better because of the center. But with these energetic moves that white has in the center, so that's actually something really interesting, chat, that when you've given up your center and your opponent has this pawn advance but hasn't finished development, use that time to actually put pressure on it, play energetically, otherwise you might be in trouble.
Absolutely right. So this is something where Anna Ushenina must really take this game by its sort of right now, take it in her hands and start doing something like knight c3, maybe queen a4, maybe take on d5, but not play passively. Otherwise, Harika's center will start sort of dominating the game.
Anna's listening to you. She goes knight c3 immediately while developing, but also eyeing that d5 pawn. Queen a4 would be a big threat. Harika immediately goes bishop to e7,
I
as we
don't
were
think that
mentioning.
has happened yet, Tanya.
Ah, that hasn't happened
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Okay, so we
It's
still have
just-
bishop
it's still
e6.
thinking, I think. So
Yes, on the analysis board, I had it that knight c3, bishop
Right.
e7, putting pressure, and then moves like bishop g5 or queen a4 would continue attacking the pawns.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, so here looking good for Anna Ushenina if she plays correctly. Let's go to the game of Vaishali versus Vantika. I think the battle of two young talents there.
Oh,
And
wow.
what is the H pawn doing on H5?
I don't know if you've noticed this, Sagar, but Vaishali freaking loves the H pawn advance. So many games, you see her immediately go for H4, H5, open up the H file, try and just immediately put an attack. I've seen her do it in even classical games, not just in rapid. So she's very direct, and look at this. Here she uses the H file to develop her rook from H3, eyeing that G3 square someday to put pressure over there. And this is going to be an absolute firework of a game.
Yeah, it's like Vantika has to be sort of careful here because once the rook comes in, you have one knight, one rook, one bishop. The queen could also join in. The bishop could come to d3. It will become a powerful attack. Once again, yeah, I love how these young Indian players have different styles of playing chess, and it's being shown amply in all of these games. You can see Vaishali loves to attack. She's playing all these very interesting lines. And again, this was a Grunfeld. No, not a Grunfeld. It was a semi-Tarash where we had this and h4, h5, rook h3 on the board. Let's see what happens next.
Rook h3 played, and the thing about these openings is, right, if you are not prepared with them in a rapid format, they're so tricky to handle. You're so scared and terrified of an attack against your king. You're like, rook g3 aayega, g7 pe mate ho jayegi, bishop h6 aa raha hai. I think a move like king h8 at some point has to be played. You need to sidestep with your king away from the g file.
Yes. And then maybe Vaishali will sack on h6 at some point. You know, Tanya, just mark my words. It's going to happen.
Incoming bishop e3,
Yes.
queen d2, bishop h6.
She will find a way to sack something here. Whether it is right or wrong, we will see. But this is going to be an exciting game. Shall we go and check the game of Oliwia,
Let's do it. Oliwia against Nana. We do
the
have
leader of the tournament?
the leader of the tournament and looking to, well, at least, who knows, maybe finish on 100% score at the end of the day if she wins this one against Oliwia. But Sagar, she's playing with the black pieces. I see the position. And once again, I think it's all about the pawn structure on the queen side. There are certain dark squared weaknesses that are there, but it's too little. I have a feeling if I had to predict a result here, I feel this will end in a draw.
Yes, if Oliwia was in good form here, I would say that white definitely has a small push, especially because if you can see the pieces are well positioned, king can move quickly, the rook can come here, the rook is already on an open file, but the margin of error is very small. You need to keep making those accurate moves, push a4 at the right time, break up the queen side, and this might not be something that Oliwia might be able to do really precisely on all her moves, and maybe the game equalizes. So yeah, Tanya, maybe that is what could happen.
And I think when you're up 2 points, you're playing with the white black pieces. If you don't get too much out of the opening, it makes a lot of practical sense to just not over push your chances. So we'll come back to that one. Meanwhile, of course, there's a lot of action on the other boards. And I think I want to take your attention, Sagar, to Maria against Humpy.
Ooh, the top board clash. And what is Humpy's heart rate looking like? 112, guys. This is what we have planned, in fact, for this event. Whenever we switch the board, you can get to see the heart rate, and maybe at some point we would love if we could also show you the heart rate like this here on the top of the player. So, if it happens on every board, we switch the board, the heart rate switches and the player's video shifts.
I just noticed that my heart rate, why is my heart beating like this? Like as you discussed, like a dating app heart, like it's going all crazy, No?
Mhm.
No?
No, it's looking nice.
Okay. So Queen D3, coming back to the chess, Sagar, as you mentioned, Humpy with 106. Again, I feel like Humpy is one of those players, when you look at her, you feel and see so much calm, but the heart rate monitor tells us the inside story.
Correct. But, some players are just used to a higher heart rate. So, for example, even though she's above 100, she might not really be feeling nervous, I think. She's just used to that thing that she can perform better when she's more alert or when her heart is beating faster. And I have seen that happening to myself. Like when I'm really excited in some other things,
Like Amrita walking in.
yes, my heart rate rises up.
I've
But when
noticed
I'm
that
very
too.
excited in commentary, my heart rate still doesn't go up because maybe I'm just doing it every day and my heart's gotten used to it.
That's an interesting point. So even though you're feeling that
Yeah.
adrenaline and that rush, you're still able to keep a level of calm. By the way, I was talking to Ashwin and he mentioned that when we exercise, when we work out, apparently the optimum level around which our heart should be is around 150. That's when you've reached the optimum exercising rate for your body to burn calories.
Okay.
When your heart rate's around 150. When it crosses 200 is when you're going into risky zone. So
200 is something I don't think we'll be witnessing. I would
Hopefully
be
not.
very scared if someone
Hopefully
is
not.
reaching 200 and we are like, oh my god,
what? Oh my god, what happened to the person? Why is he not moving?
Arre. Tania, control.
All right, so we've got Maria against Humpy. Sagar, I look at the position and my first feeling is that, again, it's a little bit of a push from white here, from Maria's side. And the reason for that is when you have opposite colored bishop, it's all about which bishop has a target. Take a look at this position. Here, the bishop on b3 has a very strong target on f7, which can be attacked. You can at some point envision the knight jumping to g5, the queen putting pressure on f7. Not right now, but when it's possible. Meanwhile, the bishop on d6, it's very hard to imagine it creating real threats. So I think from that perspective, white looking slightly better.
Yes, I agree with you. And if only the knight could come to g5, it would give white a huge advantage. But this queen is watchfully stopping the knight from coming there. So in my mind, somewhere h4 is definitely something I want to do.
Vaishali, Sagar has what is the word? It's missing my mind when you
Inspired.
inspired, but there's, oh god, chat, remind me of that word. This is one of the things when I'm commentating, I sometimes, like, it happens rarely, but if there's a word that gets stuck in my mind, but I can't remember it and I just get stuck in a chat, it's like that thing when
It's
you
still 82 only. Tania.
project. When you
Your
project.
heart rate is not increasing. I thought it'll go like 100 or 120 or something. You're not channeling the spirit.
Sagar is channeling the spirit of Vaishali with
Harsh
this.
Mishra understood you very well. Also,
Oh,
Sarbamoy
wow.
Malik. I tell you, Chania.
That's actually impressive. Oh my god. What did you call me?
I was
What did
going to say Tania, but I was channeling, so I called it Chania. But Tania, for
Chania.
all your problems in life,
Yeah.
chat has a solution.
Really?
Why? Because there are 1,300 people and there are 1,300 opinions. So one of them has to be right.
But then I'll get so confused. By the way, I'm really impressed that someone mentioned channeling and got what I was saying. Thank you so much, chat. But if I had 1,300 opinions on a problem, Sagar, I feel like, would that help me or would that mess me up even more?
Well, it depends on kind
The
of
problem.
person you are.
Oh, and also the problem.
Yeah, problem also, yes. Okay, so by the way, G6 has been played by Humpy. She's kind of doing some prophylaxis, saying that even if you go knight G5 at the right time, I have stopped the attack on H7. So I still feel this game is kind of around even, and you are right that maybe white has a small edge, but maybe nothing too huge. Shall we go to the game of Anna, Ushenina, and Harika? Because we were looking
Oh,
at that
wow.
c4, bishop e6, and we were looking what should white do. She did play knight c3,
And
bishop
black did go
e7
bishop
है.
e7, so
भाई तानिया मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, तुम जो भी बोल रहे हो रहा है. Do you want something in life today?
oh, I should just say it.
Just
ठीक
say
है.
it. हो जाएगा तो बताना हमको कि हो गया. ठीक है.
तेरे को पता है ना? ठीक है. So बताऊंगी अगर हो जाएगा तो, chat का भी बता दूंगी अगर हो गया तो. So e4 played, and Sagar, we were talking about this. Knight c3, bishop e7, very natural moves, and as you said, put pressure on f6, bishop g5, and now black unfortunately doesn't have time to go short castle.
Yeah.
Because again, if you don't mind, can we have some arrows?
Yes. अरे arrow बना भाई.
So the point is that you take on f6, and then you don't have enough support on d5, and black will end up losing the d5 pawn.
Correct.
So because black did not have time to do that, Harika, to kill that bishop on g2, to stop that attack on d5, goes for e4. And then Sagar, your move again, a queen a4, attacking c6, pinning the c6 pawn, attacking d5, arrows bana do yaar. Attacking d5 and asking Harika, how are you going to defend everything?
Where is that politeness, Tanya? Where it went out of the window?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was so much fun until a few minutes ago.
Until it wasn't.
But by the way, it's just like, black. Harika is in this situation where she's like, okay, I finished one project now. I want to take a break in life. But then again, it's like, sorry, now it's more pressure. So she says, okay, now I need a break. Queen a4, again attacking c6. No break. Sounds like someone's life here.
मुझे क्यों तोड़ा?
But तुमको नहीं, सबका जिंदगी वैसे. I think guys even in the chat will agree, many of you preparing for your exams. How many in the chat preparing for exams but can't study and watching chess commentary?
No break from Chess Base India clips. That is the problem in everyone's life here. All right, well, talking about building pressure, I think that is such a big part of... क्या हुआ?
me. Full chat is कोई पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा है.
कोई पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा, सब Chess Base India देख रहे हैं. लोगों के semester exams हैं, Sagar. You know, it's interesting, like you're doing so much for chess and for the community and for the country with all that you do. But Sagar, कोई पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा तुम्हारे वजह से.
इंडिया का इकोनॉमी नीचे जा रहा है.
Now we know what's the problem with the GDP.
By the way, Harika said, no, I got my break. You need to get your break. And the point is, if you take on c6, she wants to go rook c8 and chop off this pawn on c4 with the rook, maintaining her strong center.
Very nice. That's
that's a
actually
nice
a
move.
very cool way of solving your development problems, where you use tactics and say that I'm not going to be passive forever. Queen c6, I think it's still possible, and the line sort of continues because white can put pressure on the a7 pawn, and it could be a really big mess. So it's going to be interesting to see what Anna Ushenina decides.
Right. Let's wait. Let's see what happens there. Can we quickly go to our leaders game and see if Oliwia Kiolbasa could put pressure on Nana? Not really, right? It seems like Nana is also catching up in the development. She has neutralized the pressure on h file with h6. Maybe we'll go king f7, rook comes here. Should be equal.
Should be fine. I think for now, we will see how this develops. But for now, we can move on from this game. Simply saying that black has no problems, white has no problems. A most probable result in this one would be a draw.
Correct. Absolutely. Okay. So, very likely, let's go to the game of Savita versus Anna Muzychuk. We haven't seen that game.
Arey, and look at the position.
Bhai, kya hi position hai. Savita bringing her rook to a4, capturing there, trying to maybe get her rook active on the a file, also could swing over that side maybe at some point, but knight b4 on the board. I like white's position, Tanya.
But aren't you losing the a5 pawn is my question here with knight b4, or is it just a sacrifice? So one thing, I can't pick up the a5 pawn immediately. Let's point it out. I'm glad that we have some arrows on the
Before
board.
you even said it, Tanya, I'm very focused now.
So if white does take on a5, the problem is
With
the
what,
c2
Tanya?
bishop.
Rook or knight?
Let's say you take it with the rook.
Okay.
Rook a5,
Arrows.
we trade, rook a5, knight a5, and then knight c2, queen c2, and you know what we have to do?
Knight g3. Oh! Knight g3.
And that is a disco that you don't want because the rook on f1 would fall. But Sagar, my question is, what happens if white first takes on e4, gets rid of all these disco ideas, and then picks up the pawn on a5?
Then Tanya, bishop की अहमियत समझो जिंदगी में. And also think about it this way: if I take and you take, now if you take with the rook, I have bishop c2.
Double
Maybe-
attack.
If I take with the knight, still I have bishop c2. So it does look tricky, but think maybe rook a5, bishop c2, you are attacking the knight.
Queen d2.
Queen d2, I attack your knight. So your move bishop e4, not to be underestimated, can take, and if bishop takes, you can win a pawn.
Yeah, but I think even if tactically all this works for white, the fact of giving up this bishop on c2 and having that bishop on e4, it is a very strong bishop for black. It will be compensation.
But you know Savita, she's all about calculation. She's very little about sort of, oh, I don't feel this is right and stuff like, positionally and stuff like. I don't think she would think that way. She'll go, she'll calculate, and if it's working out, she'll play it.
Also, Sagar, look at the position a bit more closely. What's the alternative here? Black is anyway threatening to take on c2. You can't really move the bishop anyway. If you
No,
go
if
bishop
bishop
b1,
b1,
then there's... You're not doing it properly. You have to do
What?
it properly.
I'm doing it better than you.
No, you're not. Chat was saying, can you do it one more? What is this? It's not like this. It's like down, up, and then 1, 2.
Oh, this thing I didn't do.
Yeah, you're like...
I'm doing it with my head.
It's more like you're doing it in your head. Chat, can you just please help me here? But you're right, Sagar. Bishop b1, we do have another disco with knight f2, hitting that queen, hitting that bishop on b1. So with all of that, taking that into consideration, I don't see another move except grabbing the knight on e4.
I agree. Let's see if Savita's going to do that. And while we wait for that, how about quickly checking the game of Vaishali versus Vantika? Vantika
Oh my God.
has made arrangements for the winter. She has got her king to
I
h8,
love
rook
that.
to g8. She's worn one blanket over another and everything gotten ready. Whenever Vaishali, you will sacrifice, I'm ready.
But you know what the problem with getting ready for the winter is? That there can be a summer.
Yes, the winter would end at some point.
The winter would end at some point, and then you can feel so suffocated with all this clothing and the blankets that you have on, and you might not just be able to take it off all on time. Look at the position. How cramped is Black's position currently? With all this, fortification around the king, the rook on g8 does look really ugly to me. Meanwhile, White's king, even though in the center, is absolutely safe.
Very nice king.
And I have to say, I like White's position here.
Yeah. Also Vaishali really, I mean, it's a very useful move, but think about it this way, okay? Everyone said to the rook, "Bhai, attack is coming. Please go on g8. It's very important." So the rook goes here, and then Vaishali plays a3, and the rook is like, "What did I do?" But okay, on a serious note, there is rook takes g7 being threatened here, followed by queen h6 and e5 with a huge attack. So if you were careless and you played a move like knight b4, knight b4, there's rook b4, so let's not do that. Rook c8, let's say a useful move. There's rook g7,
Wow,
king g7.
queen h6, and where's the mate after e5?
I mean, I'm just trying to mate you this
It's
way.
so dangerous. And Sagar, one more thing. a3 might look like, wait a second, you've got your play on the king side, why a3? But it has an idea. White wants to take out that bishop to b2 so that you can pin along this diagonal. Go d5 someday, queen h6 will be threatened. It could not have happened without a3 because of bishop b4 pinning and winning that queen. So,
सब बताते हो, तानिया, पूछो ना question to the
Oh,
chat.
sorry.
Bishop b4 को, what is the problem?
Sorry.
बढ़िया. पर क्या ही सुंदर analysis. a3 stops bishop b4 and now prepares bishop b2 d5.
Stunning.
And this
Stunning way of building an attack.
Yeah.
So while Vantika is playing in the Delhi winter, Vaishali is enjoying the Chennai summer.
Oh, nice.
Thanks.
Very cool. So let's go to the game between two amazing players, Humpy and Maria Muzychuk. Knight on g5 wants to sack itself. On f7, on e6, कुछ तो
कहीं
करो.
पे
कहीं पे
कहीं पे भी sacrifice करो to open up the king.
Right, and I'm sure Maria doesn't want to come back to f3, but look at the time she has. She has 9 minutes on the clock. Humpy has 3 minutes. I think one of the things that isn't working for Humpy in this event until now, which is not like she's losing games or anything, but her time management hasn't been so great. Even against Anna, she was very low on time, but she did manage at the end. So I don't know if that will cost her at some point, but she is with 110 heartbeats, 3 minutes to go. Let's see.
Well, 8-6, it's very tempting to think of options like knight f7, sacrifice it, give up 2 pieces for a rook, create weaknesses, but it doesn't get you anywhere because you're not left with anything to attack, to build that attack.
So she comes back.
So she comes back, she's eyeing that e5 square. There are always ideas of advancing the center with c4 someday. I don't love it because you block your own bishop on b3, but maybe when the time is right. And also control over the e file. Black has to find a way of fighting it. I don't know, can Black actually make a move like rook e8 and try and trade off the rooks? I want to exchange as many pieces as I can.
Yeah, I think rook e8, rook e8, knight e8.
She goes rook d8, by the way,
she
instead.
keeps the rook, huh? Okay. Interesting. Let's keep this going. By the way, we had a huge super chat by Evans D'Souza, who says, Sagar and Tania appreciate all the wonderful commentary and lovely banter for this tournament. Much love. Thank you, Evans.
Thanks, Evans. That's really sweet. And we're so glad that you're joining us for really this historic moment for women chess across the world. It's happening for the first time in India, where there is the same prize fund for a women's event as well as the open event. The best talents of India, the young prodigies of India are fighting it out against the world's best female players. So there's a clash of generations as well. A very exciting time.
Yeah. And also, I think as FIDE has this year of women in chess this year. So I think it all fits into this theme perfectly. And we do actually, it's been amazing, right, Tania? We have just had 3 rounds and we are already witnessing some fantastic games, enjoyable, high quality chess. So great chess here, and a huge shout out to the organizers of the event, Tata Steel, Game Plan, all the sponsors who have made this possible. Westbridge Capital. Let's go.
Sagar, I want to go back to the Vaishali Vantika game because it's really, I think, currently the most exciting position that we have. It's so rich in attack, and it does look like Black is in so much trouble.
With all the pieces on the board and only 16 moves made.
With only all the pieces on the board, 16 moves made. Vantika down to a minute and a half on her clock. Vaishali up by 5.5 minutes on her clock. Queen d6 has been played. And Sagar, I am expecting a bishop b2 development here to try to really put pressure on that 8-6 pawn. And she plays it. She plays it on call. Yeah. Bishop b2. I love it.
And now at some point, these 2 pawns, they are like, this left jab, right jab. You don't know from where the punch is coming. It can go from e5, opening this bishop up.
Oh
it can go from d5, opening this bishop up. I think Vantika, with 1 minute on the clock, this position is as good as lost. If she saves this,
miracle.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing, Sagar? For me, the standout move of this game, which is so easy to underappreciate,
is a3.
Yes. I feel like that is the beauty. Moves like a3, these little moves which are in chess. How do we call it, Sagar?
Prophylactic moves?
Yes. Why am I testing you? I'm sorry. Yes, these are prophylactic moves. Well done on that.
Thank you.
You simply stop. You have a plan. You see your opponent can counter it and you stop it. And it was such a little move, but such a powerful one.
Absolutely. And by the way, Savita's game, very quickly checking that, Savita is still slightly better against Anna Muzychuk. And that's quite an achievement for the youngster who's really putting Anna into big trouble to score her first win of the tournament. And quickly going now to the game of Harika. Ooh, this one looks scary, right? She's pawn down.
She's down a pawn. It is an opposite color bishop, which gives you a bit of hope. But you know what? Again, is the problem here. Chat, opposite color bishop. Imagine even if the queens get traded off. And here's a positional question for chat. Imagine chat, queens have been traded off, queen c2, bishop c2. Where do you want to place your light squared bishop?
Nice.
It's not tactics, but what is the ideal square for this bishop? This shows positional understanding. And that's the whole point. If you find this, you get a big advantage. You get a big advantage, Sagar, because then it is very difficult for black to keep control of the position.
Yeah. And Tania, your question is quite tricky
Wow.
because it's about positional chess, but look at the chat. Chat is like, sorry,
Amazing.
what did you ask us? And everyone in the chat, there's not even another move being quoted. It's all b3 almost everyone. And d5 also is the same concept. Hit on f7. So bishop b3, put the bishop here. Great answers given by so many of you. Sarbamoy, Kirtika, Mohit, Aradhya, Aryan, Rakshit, Drone, Sanket, Disha, and Hasibul. Fantastic.
Very impressive, because Sagar, I often feel when it comes to tactics, chat can be super awake
Yeah.
and super alert. But finding that the bishop belongs to b3 and that's the ideal square shows strategic understanding.
Absolutely. Whoa, okay, so Oliwia Kiolbasa versus Nana Dzagnidze. From being slightly worse, Nana is slowly converting this game into a slightly better position for herself, with all her pieces working in much better harmony than whites. It seems like Nana might end with a 100% score today.
And I want to just break it down why that's the case. That, we thought that this ending, and even now it's kind of hard to understand. But again, strategic concepts. The c4 square. While black's pieces can get to the c4 square really easily, Sagar, you can imagine and envision the knight coming to d6, jumping to c4, bishop c4 in the air. White's pieces will not land on c5 so easily.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, the b4 pawn is a weakness targeted by the bishop on e7. You never can take a takes b5, opening up the rook's activity along the a file. So slowly but surely, black has made progress.
Yeah, I think, guys, the way Tania breaks down positions, this can really be a wonderful series or a book that you can do. Breaking down positions.
Chess Piece India? Done.
That's
Done.
because it's like you was thinking, like, what will Tania say now? And just the breaking them down perfectly. Fantastic job there. Shall we go and check Humpy versus Maria Muzychuk?
Let's do it. Maria versus Humpy. We left it last when White's knight fell back, eyeing the e5 square. The c4 was always in contention. The queen coming in, attacking on f7. So I see b5 has been played to make sure that queen c4 is not possible anymore.
And a6 played because I think Humpy wants to go c5 next, and then even c4 if possible. So Humpy here doing quite okay. Maybe Maria will go c4. We will see now. Pressure time coming up. Which game should we focus on here?
Vaishali and Vantika.
and
I think that is fire on board right now.
E5.
And the one who's facing the heat is Vantika.
She played e5. She gave up a pawn. And she's like, at least I blocked both the pawns now.
But for how long? How long are you going to block it? My pawn is going to come to e6 eventually. Once this bishop on b2 opens up, it is a dragon of a bishop.
And do you think that right now Vaishali will be quick enough to sacrifice this pawn on e6 and open up this bishop? Will she do it now?
So
This is the
tempting.
moment.
So
Because
tempting.
if Tania, she doesn't do it, Vantika really wants to put her knight here.
Oh my, and once that happens, you have controlled the whole position. But e6 is just brilliant, Sagar. If black, you're sacrificing a pawn. But look at what you're getting in return, the g6 square for your rook. After e6, black picks up the pawn on e6, white plants a rook on g6, attacking e6. But let's say you defend it. Here's a question for your chat, Sagar, and let's see how quickly they answer it. After e6, let's say you defend the e6 pawn with a move like knight d8. Ugly move, but white to play and win. No, after fe6, rook g6.
Ah, you mean here. After e6, fe6, rook g6. Oops, rook g6 and knight d8. Guys, what is
Even
the
before
winning?
you had the position on the board, chat was like, ये क्या है? थोड़ा difficult सवाल पूछो. ये क्या underestimation हो रही है chat की?
Well, chat is too good, too quick. Rook takes h6, guys. Look at this bishop here. And this is a checkmate in the corner of the board. So can't let that happen. Did Vaishali go? No, she played queen d2. She didn't go
Surprising.
e6.
Surprising. And I think the reason for that is she didn't like f6. Maybe Vaishali, but it's hard to imagine because knight h4, knight g6 coming up. Sagar, I am surprised that Vaishali chose to not play e6 here.
But it did happen after queen d2, rook d8. She has put her bishop on d5, and maybe somewhere she is thinking about queen f4, getting her pieces even in better position before going e6. King h7 played by Vantika. I don't think this is a short-term attack. Yeah, Tanya, this keeps going on and on.
You called it.
Queen f4
You
on
called
the board.
it bringing all your toys to the nursery. You bring the queen into the attack with queen f4, attack f7, queen f5, always in the air. And it's just so difficult. Vantika down to 14 seconds on the clock now.
And I think there will be some kind of a beautiful finish that is awaiting us
Yeah,
in this game.
it's very, you can
Yeah,
anticipate
yeah.
it, right? You can feel
Some
it, it's
sack will
coming.
come.
It's coming.
Some sack is going to come. Meanwhile, what should we wait or should we go somewhere? Let's go to Harika.
Let's take a quick look at Harika's game against Anna. A difficult endgame, definitely
But
to
drawing
defend.
chances.
Drawing chances, by the way, chat on point. The bishop did land on b3. Harika very smartly made sure that the rook doesn't land on the 7th rank, putting pressure on f7. So still keeping everything under control. But Anna Ushenina will play this out till the end.
Yeah, yeah. And what about Nana Dzagnidze? Still a small edge for her. And Maria Muzychuk versus Humpy, also around equal. And Savita Shri versus Anna Muzychuk. This one's gonna end in a draw, Tanya, which is actually a great result for Savita.
Yeah, against Anna Muzychuk. After having two tough games to come back and, you know, start on the scoreboard against one of the heavy favorites with a draw is definitely an encouraging result. White has given a check, will give another check on d7, try and pick up the c7 pawn. Lots of pawn trades will happen. White will lose the b2 pawn, and this should end in a draw.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the Vaishali Vantika game because I really want to see the end of this game, Sagar, and we will come back to the other games.
Okay. By the way, people saying, can we have Nihal versus Hikaru death match? It's at 4 p.m. today, guys. First round is Nihal versus Hikaru.
Oh my
A
god.
preview.
That is going to be insane. I mean, what a way to start the tournament with Hikaru facing Nihal.
मजा ही आ जाएगा.
मजा ही आ जाएगा. And you know,
कहीं जाना मत, 4 बजे हाजिर हो जाना.
you have to mark your attendance for that one. I think that's a match that we've all been waiting to see, and it'll happen over the board. So super exciting to watch.
Yeah. And by the way, Queen G4, you see that knight has made its way to E6, Tanya. If Vantika manages to fight back here, that is going to be epic. She goes knight to G5. But I believe that knight will jump now to F5. And Vaishali is going to play E6 somewhere. Yeah, knight F5 on
played,
the board.
as you mentioned, Sagar, such an attractive move. I'm really missing this that moment when White could have played e6, you know, and Queen c7. Sagar, all the sacrifices that we've been talking about are in the air, and it comes down to the bishop on b2. Ideas like knight h6, g8-6, Queen f5 check, King h8, e6 check. Oh my god!
भाई मार ही डालोगे, इतना अटैक करोगे. Let's see if one Vaishali is able to play knight h6, because that is the best move in the position. She's thinking, she's down to 10 seconds. 9, 8,
she's thinking about
7,
it, but will she go, Sagar? She
takes
will.
it.
She goes for it.
No, she took
it knight h6 on the board in seconds.
What
Vaishali,
a move.
what a move. And yes, let's focus on the players. Queen f5 check,
check,
as we were pointing out. And let's see if we can just also have the players with the board on the screen. And there we have it.
This one.
Rook g6, because if you moved back with the king, there were these threats of e6, so it wasn't possible. Vantika blocks it with the rook. But now you have to be little careful, because if you take it with the pawn, Black will recapture with the pawn, open up the rook, attack the queen, and don't forget the attack on f2. But a very, very careful Vaishali first snaps up the bishop. She's threatening to go rook d7 next.
And Tanya, maybe hg6, fg6, then is met with rook d7 check now. gobbling up the queen. So that's over.
And it's happening on the board as
Yeah.
we speak it. H takes g6. Really nice, precise play by Vaishali these last couple of moves.
Yeah, very nice games. It's games like this that give you so much confidence in the tournament. And I think for Vaishali, it's been a very good day in a way, right? She started off with the draw with Harika. Then what did she do next round? I think she drew again.
Vaishali, we'll just confirm.
Yeah, round 2. No, she lost to Nana Zagidze.
And that also, she lost, but let's remember the game. I mean, the game felt like it was in her favor, a little inaccuracy. So definitely a very informed Vaishali on day 1.
Yeah, she's playing really well, and this win will put her in good spirits for tomorrow. Savita, Shri versus Anna Muzychuk. Draw, yeah. This is not going anywhere. This is a draw.
But that's a great
they
result
drew,
for
they
Savita. Well done for Savita here. The youngest player in the field starts her scorecard with a draw against the heavy favorite, the number 1 player from Ukraine, Anna Muzychuk.
Yeah, fantastic chess there by Savita. That's her first point in this tournament. She's moved off from 0. Will also Oliwia Kiolbasa managed to do that. Looks unlikely, Tania, with the fact that black is putting so much pressure now. The rook active on a3, knight on b5, bishops here. It seems like Nana Dzagnidze is not going to let Oliwia off the hook.
And Nana's super good in her endgames. So, this is going to be a technical one for her. She's down to 15 seconds. Both players playing on seconds. Sagar, maybe we should stick to this game. Nana is the tournament leader. She trades off the bishop, puts the rook on c3. You can't move that knight on c1 because the bishop on d3 is hanging. Arrows would be nice, but Sagar, of course...
yes. If you move the knight, the bishop is hanging, guys. I'm listening to Tania, but rook c2, Tania.
Rook c2 played, and of course, now it comes down to, do you decide to trade off the rooks? The point is that black wants to put her knight on d4. That is the beautiful square that you're looking at. Nana brings in the king on the game, goes king e7.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about this? Is this easy?
I think this is not going to be easy to...
Knight a4, knight
but
c5.
this is a threat, right? So I'm going to stop you. And now how are you going to attack this pawn is a big question. So,
but instead she misses it, Sagar. She plays knight e2, missing this knight a4 idea. And with this, Nana wins the pawn.
And maybe we can try and get Nana here for a short chat because she has played so well. So I'll do that, Tania, while this game gets over.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to go and call her as well, and we can have her here then.
Okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, you can also go. Are you going right now? Oh, the game is over, by the way.
No, not over.
No, they're talking, no? I thought they were just seen on the screen.
No, they're not talking. They're playing.
Oh, it looked like they were having a little chat. All right, well, we've got king d6. So, do I shift here?
No, it's fine.
How do I? Okay, you'll be back soon. All right, chat. So, Nana has an extra pawn, and now it's just all about conversion. What you want to do with black here is advance your king. I'm going to actually shift to Sagar's seat so I can make some moves and finally have some arrows. I'm just scared of messing up everything. So bishop c4, and the point of bishop c4 is that always white will have to be careful of a move like bishop e2 when you will end up losing the g4 pawn as well. So a nice little move just tying down that king on e3. And now black will move back with the bishop to b5, attack that knight on a4, which is controlling the c5 square, and that's how the king will finally find itself coming into the game. By the way, I'm really enjoying the whole arrow situation. How's chat doing? Nana instead goes for another plan. She goes for c5. So what she wants to do is get her king from c6 to b5. Playing on seconds, a technical position, but Nana knows that this is a win. She just needs to keep up the pressure. Her opponent has only 19 seconds on the clock. I need arrows in my life. That is true. So king c6, king b5 coming up, king c3, first hitting that bishop. And the question is, are you going to fall back? Nana says yes, attacking that knight on a4, wants to trade it off, wants to get her own knight into the game. So definitely looking good. Nana might end on 3 out of 3, and we'll see what happens. There we have her on our screen. Tania on 2020. I want arrows. We all grew up. From sanitizers to arrows, we all grew up. Chris, we haven't had lunch yet. I don't even know if we're going to get time for lunch because of the schedule that we have here. We've got the women's tournament, which finishes now, and then within an hour, we will have the open event, which starts, which, of course, as you know, has some very juicy matchups in round 1. So I'm not really sure what our lunch is going to be like. Bishop f1. So chat, how do we improve this position? That's the question. Hikaru starts in first round against Nihal. And that's a matchup that we're very excited about, because don't forget, in the global championship, Wesley knocked out Hikaru. Nihal made it to the finals, played against Wesley and lost. So there's a lot of, competitiveness, and both are really known to be super strong in these shorter time formats. But of course, Hikaru, I think on paper, is a favorite in that match. But with Nihal, you can just never say. I mean, he's capable of anything when it comes to blitz and bullet and rapid time controls. I was really enjoying making arrows, by the way. Yeah, बहुत मजा आ रहा था.
तो आप arrow करो, मैं उधर जाता हूँ.
नहीं, but I don't know how to change the game now.
That's the thing.
I need to learn chat.
Arrows is fun, but it comes with its own problems.
It's all a give and take. I remember feeling you were trying to say something
Yes,
else.
it's always philosophical. Life is all about philosophy.
Hmm.
And even a very banal activity like making arrows can become something of
Deeper.
deep discussion that we can have on this subject.
That I get to make arrows, but
Only if you learn how to handle the stream deck and change the scenes and all of that. And Tanya is like, okay, let's just focus.
oh my god, coming back to the position, Nana has put her bishop on h3,
What is the
attacking
bishop doing
g4,
there?
attacking the g4 pawn,
that
also
bishop
tying
is-
down the bishop on e2. You have to find a way to break, and the point was, it was a bit of a zugzwang.
Oh, there was a Zugzwang.
Let's just go back 1 second and show the position.
Hmm.
You can't move the king because that allows the entry for black's king, king d4.
Oh.
You can't move the knight because that allows knight a4 check,
Oh.
and the king enters on d4. So really,
You
white
can't
had
move here because this hangs. So she had to move the bishop, and then the bishop came and attacked there.
very nice.
You didn't say that. Let's break down the position.
Wait, we
You
did.
broke it down.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. It should start with that.
Let's break this
the
down.
position.
I just feel like we're on seconds, so we just gotta
But
move.
still, it's your
Done.
TM. It's Tanya's trademark.
Let's break this
Let's
down.
break down this position.
Well, Nana managed to break it down,
She's
getting that
winning.
e4 pawn, getting her pieces in the center. The king will come to d4, the knight will come to e3, put more pressure on g4, and slowly but
Surely, I'm making the arrows.
slowly but surely, Sagar is making the arrows and Nana's making progress.
Right. So, Nana, I think when I went there, I was waiting for her. It's the only game that's going on in the hall now. All other games have been completed. We have had only one decisive result until now. That's Vaishali beating Vantika. Harika sort of holding on strongly, drawing her game. Good play by her there, and also Humpy drawing against Maria. So good day for sort of all the Indian girls, it seems to me. Everyone took back something home.
A good start for sure. And I think you're absolutely right. I think especially for Savita Shri, having that draw at the end, very important going into day 2 of the rapid. Bishop c6, by the way, by Nana, very important move, stopping knight e8, which would attack the g7 pawn, and there would be no nice way to defend it.
Right. And knight f7. But kudos to Oliwia. She might be the only player who might end up with a 0 point today. But
Kudos. Wait.
sorry,
You said kudos to Olivia, who will end.
for her fighting spirit.
Okay.
I was just complete.
Sorry.
Let me
It
complete.
was just...
You're like,
But I-
see, the thing is, you can go into philosophy again. Should let people complete this. Okay, thinking?
I quit. Chat, I can't do this. Bishop d5. This is what I love in a bishop versus knight. The bishop dominates the knight. And when something dominates another piece, the piece just doesn't feel alive.
Yeah, it's like this piece is feeling like a piece of its life has been taken away from it. A big piece.
You could go knight e6 though.
Oh, what a terrible
Breakdown.
pillar.
You hear
And suddenly you can't take it because this. No, you could take it and then put your knight back.
But you want to do that. I'm not sure. Yes, you
Oh,
do because
she
G7
took.
hangs. G7 hangs.
She took and she went back, and it's now Tania.
Oh my
All
god.
of a sudden, what is happening?
Bishop d5 was a blunder.
Bishop. No. Bishop e6. You mean? Or knight d5 was a blunder.
Bishop e6.
Oh, taking this was a mistake.
Yes. A blunder, you lose a very big part of your advantage. And the point is that now your knight can't move. So white, I think, just simply goes,
But now I have told Amruta that we should call Nana. But now maybe Amruta will just call her.
but that's fine because it's part
She
of the
might be the
sport.
lead.
Yeah.
She
and
might
she's
still be leading.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Let's hope that this game continues. It's a very, very interesting game there. You can see a new angle being brought in here where we can see the really wooden pieces. Guys, it's a pleasure to play on these chess boards. These are beautiful chess sets. And meanwhile, Nana Dzagnidze has just
She's not
understood
happy. You
that
can look
she
at
has
her messed it up.
watched a huge part of her advantage.
But you know, it's still not easy. But the problem now is that you will win this e3 pawn for
Yeah,
the
e6
e6
and
pawn.
e3 will fall. And Tania, even though these pawns are doubled, they still do the job. They don't look good, but they are doing the job.
And that's what looks don't matter.
Yes.
Looks don't matter. It's
That's
all
what I wanted to say the cameraman yesterday, but he did not agree.
Oh my god. So you're absolutely right that maybe in another position, another life where there were more pieces on the board, this could become a target.
Are you trying to?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the position, Sagar Shah. I'm actually talking about the position currently.
Okay.
But in this particular position, you can't build an attack against g4, g3, and these two pawns dominate black's three pawns.
Agreed.
So very
Agreed.
difficult to make progress. How this would develop? Pawns might get exchanged, and eventually the bishop will sacrifice itself for the last pawn.
Yes. Very likely for that to happen. And there we see Olivia's persistence paying off, I guess. But we can't still comment. This game has had a very topsy-turvy curve to it. First, it was equal. Then Nana started to win. Now Oliwia is drawing this. Let's see what happens.
Well, king d4 on the board. Nana's still going to try to do this as much as she can. And as long as knights are on the board, you know, they're always tricky.
I agree. And Tania, this is not a straightforward draw by any means.
It's not, regardless of what the
Yeah.
eval bar says. You're still down a pawn. Black's pieces activity is very, very strong. You can never go into a pure king pawn endgame.
Correct.
That would be lost on the spot.
Also, the king can go from the other side here. It's a long walk, but could be at some point. It is possible.
I'll tell you what White's plan is. The moment you move the king too far, White will go king e4, king f5, and try and get the king to g6, which is why Nana's just fallen back with the knight to e7, controlling all the entry points.
Correct. And look at how the knights and pawns are together stopping the king. The knight controls f5. By the way, big blunder. King f4. But this is a big mistake, Tania,
Knight g6
because
is-
of knight
and
g6.
Let's ask chat. Let's ask chat. Let's ask chat.
What?
This is lost on the spot.
Ooh.
And Nana misses it.
What?
It was lost on the spot.
But look at this variation, Tania. Here, check. If you go down, then there's a check and you lose the bishop. If you go king f5, you must find knight e5 hitting the bishop. Let's say the bishop comes out. Now you have saved everything and the king comes and picks this up.
Amazing.
It was not trivial, but it was definitely something that Nana could have found.
But Nana, of course, still keeping the pressure.
Yeah.
Let's stay with our live board. Controls all the entry points for White's king. Going with your plan of getting the king from the first rank to start attacking the pawns and try and make progress. Eventually, the knight will land on e5.
Yeah, that's what she should have done again here. Instead of going king e1, knight g6, knight e5 was a better idea. But she goes king e1 and now we have to wait what Oliwia does. Bishop c4 and Tania, bishop is saying to the king, you have no entry to f1. So what's all this
96,
journey about?
95. That's what the journey is about. When you have done the most, then you've got to ask somebody to help you make progress.
Hmm.
The king has done everything that, the king could. And now,
Oh, she makes a
bishop
mistake.
d5.
The right move, Tanya, was king g2. Believe
So
it or
difficult.
not. Knight e5, bishop e6, and somehow the king protects, like stops the king from entering, and the bishop defends the pawn.
The most important thing is that you don't allow king f1. Because
Exactly.
once the king comes to f1, it will land on h2, and this is what will happen.
This is over. Now.
This is now over. Nana Dzagnidze is going to end with 100% score
She's
on
going
day
to
one.
play g5, pick up on g3, then the g4 pawn will fall. She'll have 2 extra pawns, and that is going to be winning. So, many times the things we said today have been sort of reversed. Like I said, kudos for Oliwia for her determination and sort of fighting it on and on.
And the plan is simple now, You go knight e3 next, you give knight g2 check.
Oh, that will.
Force the king away, and or you could also go knight f1, and you will see knight e3 on the board. She goes knight e6. That is an g5 mate. Oh my god.
g5 is a mate.
It's
on the spot.
literally a mate. And how are you defending
You have to
this?
give up the pawn, but that's just equal to sort of
Wow.
resignation here.
We don't get to see a mate
Beautiful
very
mate.
often,
Just
huh?
to show our chat, if you just move the bishop here, g5. What a beautiful knight here, and it's a symphony. It's a harmony between the pawns and knights. Sorry, knight. King g4.
Had to give up another pawn to survive that one. That was just a really nice setup by Nana to go knight d6. You don't see a checkmate in the middle of the board in an endgame.
Yeah.
So a nice construction there with the knight, king, and pawn. It's all about finding harmony and, that rhythm between pieces.
Yeah. By the way, Tanya, this is now almost we are coming to the end of this stream, but I just want to inform the viewers that the next stream will start at 3:45. That will be the open section, and there we'll have 3 rounds today that will be played between some of the best players in the world. So stay tuned, and we've close to 1800 people who have joined in. Guys, do like the stream and do spread the word that this is happening, because there are 4 more days of action.
4 more days of action, and definitely you've got to stay back for our upcoming open section as well, with the juiciest matchup of Nehal facing Hikaru. We've got some of the best players. There's Wesley playing the current global champion, Hikaru, the current world Fisher random champion, the #1 Blitz player in the world. We've got Nodebek, the
current world rapid champion.
world rapid champion, gold medalist of the Olympia.
Oh, yes.
And of course, all the Indian talents as well. Shark Attack as well in the house.
Shouldn't forget that for sure. And meanwhile, Nana Dzagnidze has just finished her game, and very likely she'll join us, Tanya. So I would love if you can take over this. There are games here. I'll put this, and you can just
Yeah, but I'll just have to sort of
just do this.
just this screen, yeah? Okay, cool. So we will have Nana joining us shortly.
And Tanya have the joy of making her arrows.
I will make my arrows, but in case there's some technical stuff, you please be around.
Sure.
Yeah, अब ये नहीं कि मैं ये कर रही हूँ और ऐसे तुम और अमृता ऐसे डेट पे ही चले जाओ.
Correct.
ठीक है, done है.
Let's see, but if she's here, I'll just go and check if she's coming in. Yes, we
And we
have
do
her.
have-
Amrita has brought
Amrita
our
has
leader
done
for the day.
it! Nana!
And there we have Tanya. You can.
Yeah, come.
Yes, please.
Where are the first 2 games as well?
Here, you can click here. Here you go. Round.
Nana, 3 out of 3. Perfect start. Things could not have gone better.
Yeah,
How are you feeling?
bit nervous, but overall very satisfied. Yeah,
But the matches are over. Why are you still nervous?
I don't know, but just first game was very ups and downs. So maybe
Yeah, we're just gonna bring it up.
the first game with the young girl, I think I blundered knight d7.
Against Oliwia? No,
No,
Oliwia
first
was the
game.
third
No,
game.
first game.
Yeah.
First game.
One second.
But the last game, I think
Savita.
I played well.
Super well. Nana, the whole day actually, you had some tough moments, but you found some great resources. But before we get into chess, how was the experience of playing on the stage?
No, this is the first day, so the first day it's always difficult because you need this energy, courage to find in yourself to be concentrate whole day because we are playing almost whole day, and yeah. Um, yeah, I'm a bit tired, so let's
Let's
get
take
let's
a look
get
at the games
yeah.
quickly, Nana. So you said the first game you were playing against the youngest player,
Yes,
Savita,
yes, yes,
3.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
she played really well, no?
She played well, but I blundered somewhere no, this is the last game, Tanya. This is
No,
the
this
last
is against Savita. It's the first round game.
first round. Ah,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay. The last round was the same
similar.
opening.
Yeah, yeah.
Same. I think d5 here. I blundered it. I missed it after e takes d5 here.
Hmm.
I don't have c takes d5.
You just, one
Okay,
second.
okay, okay.
No, 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 here. No, no, no. No, no, no. We'll just, yeah. Here, you can now do it. It's here.
Yeah, so after d5, it takes d5, and I don't have c takes d5 because there's knight b5, and if I go, I don't know, somewhere b6 or
Bishop f4.
this bishop f4, yes.
Yeah, wow.
So because of this, I should have played bishop e7 first, and then d5, and I like my position for black because this is typical Steinmanov structure. So. Yeah, and I blundered this. It takes d5, and this position must be still okay for black, but it's not that easy to play with the black. Here, yeah, here I blundered it after a3. I don't have a bishop queen b2 because there is this beautiful move.
Oh,
And if I
wow.
take
Oh, my
here, there is a
God.
bishop h7.
And your
Yes.
queen is trapped on b2,
Yes,
yeah?
my queen is trapped on b2.
Oh, my
yes.
God.
And after that, I think after a3, I didn't like my position because I should go back, and yeah.
And b4 comes and there's this
B4.
bind, yeah?
Yes,
on
knight a4,
c5.
knight. Yes, yes. So
She played quite well.
she played
92,
well.
90.
Yes, yes, yes. 92, but what I didn't like here for me, I didn't like something here. Maybe knight a4, maybe knight a4, knight c5.
You were more worried
idea.
about the knight
More-
coming to
yes,
c5.
Yes, yeah. What
Maybe
I
you'll
did.
play a5 anyway.
And actually, this is knight e2 is also good, and knight d4 takes. Ah, here bishop f5. I didn't like. I mean, I didn't know what to do after bishop f5 because c6 pawn is very weak. If I take on f5, knight f5, and knight
Knight
e7
e7.
is come. First sight, it feels like bishop d7 is a bad piece in the position,
Yeah,
but it defends everything.
yeah.
After you change this bishop, then c6 pawn is very weak and you feel it.
Yeah, and knight will come to e7 and
yeah.
c6.
Yeah.
She loves to make arrows.
Yeah, I like.
Okay. So after knight b3, this is an absolutely equal position, I think. Yes. But then I think she played just without a plan, and she gave me chances,
To improve your pieces.
Yes, and here,
What?
see
what,
here,
what,
knight
is-
d7,
what was
knight
this? What
d7.
about knight d7?
Knight d7.
Why?
I blundered knight d7. Absolutely.
Nana, what is this?
That's what I'm saying. This is first round. First round is always for me. I don't know for other players, but for me it's always difficult
Let's
to
show
start the
this slide.
tournament. To
Yeah.
get into the shape. To get into this. I don't know how to describe the
first, yeah.
feelings and this focus, which is most important. Yes,
First round is always
especially
tricky.
rapid and blitz. So yeah.
Did you see this immediately when
Immediately
Oh
when
my
even when I touch the piece, already I started trouble. What
And
I
then
could
did-
do.
she missed it as well, yeah?
Yes, after rook b7, I'm already fine.
Yeah,
I don't have any problem here. My king is coming on d6, knight is coming into the play, and yeah, already it's good position for
so
me.
then you felt a little more relaxed after
Yes,
this game.
yes.
But the second game was not easy against
Yes,
Vaishali
yes,
again,
yes,
no?
yes, yes. Not at all. Yeah. I have some critical moments
Yeah,
there.
I'm just going to bring it up. This one? Oh, okay. So we thought actually Vaishali was doing really well in this one, Nana, and it looked like a little bit of trouble for you. Did you feel that during the game?
When we changed the light squares bishop, after that, yeah, I didn't like my position. But
So till here, everything was fine.
yeah, everything is fine here. 95 takes, and I don't know because after b5, knight a3, I should play knight a3. She played what she played?
She played rook c8.
Yes, f3, knight d5. Okay, go bishop h6. And I don't know, Tania. I was trying to be active in the center to put my pawn e4, d5, and she's playing on the queen side. So if she's more faster, do something on the queen side, then I'm worse. But I don't know. I think she has better chances here. After e4, d5, I think I played.
So
No,
you
knight
first played knight g4 with
Yeah.
some ideas, I think.
No, my idea was to play e4 and knight e3.
Ah, okay,
To
okay.
put knight on e3.
We were thinking that you wanted something from queen
No,
h6, but it
no,
doesn't
there
go
is
anywhere,
nothing,
no?
Yes, there's nothing.
So
My
you wanted
idea
to
was
actually
e4
go
and
e4
knight
and
e3.
knight. Nice.
Knight e3.
And it's, but also for black, having this square is important.
Yeah, queen b3 is a threat actually, and then knight c2. And
It happened.
d5. Yeah, I'm not sure about d5, Tania. I was thinking d5 or knight e3, but I already didn't like this position here. But it's very low time, and I cannot, calculate on the land. Also, estimate my position.
Yeah, rapid is tough like that, no?
Yeah.
And it's a complicated position. It's
very
not
complicated.
so. But d5 has all these tricky ideas with queen d4 check.
Yes.
And somewhere knight h6 checkmate will come with king on g8. So I was like, Nana's being super tricky here. You played d5.
Yes.
Although we thought Vaishali was playing very well so far, and we liked black's position. Knight c2, very nice move. Did you feel the pressure here, Nana?
I'm not sure about knight c2.
No, you
Is
didn't.
it correct? Because knight a4 is also a good move, I think.
It wasn't the most accurate move, knight c2, but I think practically it was. We felt it puts a lot of pressure on you.
Knight c2.
You were happy with it, yeah, with queen d4 ideas.
No, I was happy here. Because
Yeah.
After rook a c1,
No.
yeah, it's queen d4. I don't know, very complicated position, and then very low time. So she blundered here.
Very suddenly, yeah.
I
By
think-
the way, I want to ask you, in this moment, did you consider d6?
No.
You didn't, Nana. I was saying that d6 is such a Nana move and she will play it. And you
No,
didn't even
I
play it. You just
didn't
played something
see
complete.
This idea I didn't see. I absolutely missed it.
But it's quite strong here
Yeah.
because of this knight f6 thing.
Yeah.
But of course, what you played also,
It's
queen
more
e3.
safe. I decided to play more safely here because I don't know.
And after queen b2, king h3. By the way, nice safe king
Nice
here.
save, yeah.
And
And she blundered this. And instead, maybe she should have tried takes here, rook c1 and knight c4, maybe, huh? Rook c1. But I wasn't sure with what to take.
with whatever you take, knight c4 will come eventually.
If I take with the queen c1,
Rook c1, knight c4,
a4,
a4.
a4 is there. So I don't know. Because after rook c1, knight
Maybe
c4.
after,
No, this I don't like already.
if you take with the queen, then after queen c1, rook c1, maybe black can first start with rook c8, offer a rook trade. Because I don't know how comfortable you'll feel in the
Do I
ending.
have rook b1?
Maybe
b1,
rook c5 and knight c4. Trying to get knight c4.
Knight f2, knight d3. I don't know.
Complicated, yeah?
Complicated.
So instead, yeah, she just collapsed immediately after
Yeah.
rook b1.
Yes.
And you got on 2 out of 2. Then you're going on 3 in the third game. How were you feeling by then? Confident?
Yeah.
And
I'm
it was
confident.
It was a long
I'm already
one.
confident. Yes.
Yeah? You're feeling good after your first day? Perfect score, Nana.
Yeah.
Just gonna...
Yeah. I hope I will continue like this.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly ask you, wait 1 second, just about the last game. Which moment did you feel? Because again, it felt like white was fine out of the opening.
White was fine, but also black has not much problems there. Also,
Hmm.
because I think I played well my opening.
Yeah. No big problem
No,
for black, no
no,
big
no.
problem for white. How do you feel in these positions? Like you'll keep playing and you'll
It's
somewhere outplay?
somewhere.
I know. See, I just knew it. I was like, Nana's gonna play this till the end.
Yes, because Tanya, I have ideas here. I have plans, but white should stay, and it's not easy to,
Stay.
stay.
You
Yes.
want to do something
Yeah,
always.
always. Yeah.
And this is nice. Here you played knight c5, provoked b4,
B4.
which is a weakness, Nana.
Yeah.
And then you just come back.
Yes, because after that c4, I have c4 square, and also before pawn is very weak.
Yeah, we were talking about this, that how white cannot maybe get to c5, but you will have an easier time getting to c4 as well.
Yes.
And then you,
It's easier to play with black here.
yeah, and then it felt like a very nice technique, huh?
You just got a great position. You really.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very comfortable for me to play this kind of position.
So far, you liking Calcutta?
Calcutta?
Kolkata.
Calcutta, but how? Only hotel? I didn't have much time to go somewhere and see the city. But I hope in a free day we will
You
go
will.
somewhere, some excursion. And yeah.
Well, super performance, Nana, on day one, ending it on a high, and we wish you all the best. Get some rest for day two.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We'll see you, yeah?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
You can take some water if you want.
Well, that was our leader for today, Nana Dzagnidze,
What a
scoring
day.
3 out of 3. What a great day for her. And Tanya, it's the end of day 1. Can we look at the standings of what's happened until now? Yeah?
Yeah, let's take a look at the standings, Sagar. We've got Nana Dzagnidze at 100% score with 3 out of 3. And then we've got a big chasing pack, a point behind, 4 players with 2 points. We've got Humpy, Maria, Anna, Ushenina, and Harika Dronavali, all with 2 points. So a 1-point lead, that's quite a lot on day 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And that too, after she was not feeling like in her best shape. To then get into the lead means that what is going to happen tomorrow? Maybe this is the event where Nana's going to just run away with it. What do you think?
You know what I realized while we were looking at the game, Sagar? That all of Nana's first day opponents were actually, well, the youngsters of the tournament. If you think about it, she started with
Oh.
Savita, Shri, she
Oh.
played Vaishali, and finally finishing with Oliwia. So her matchups, at least on paper, will get increasingly tougher.
Right. I agree with you. And but also, it's good to sort of finish off with these youngsters because they are very unpredictable. Of course, she's yet to face Vantika. But I think she played really well, and it was so nice to have her here. Also, we could see your and her friendship, like when she was trying to move the pieces there. You're like, no, 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 no. And
Like, what are you doing the whole time? I mean, it was, she also was, you could tell that she was a bit, the first round nerves were there. She said it herself that she could feel the pressure and the sort of the tension that you feel going into a tournament.
Right. Yeah. And guys, so the day 1 has ended. Please do leave a comment on this video, how you enjoyed it. And Tanya, we need to take a short break before we start again for the
I'm
day
so
1.
hungry. I saw you went and got a snack, by
No,
the way.
I didn't
You're
take
like, he's shamelessly munching right now. He's
मुझे
like,
पता था ये
you
बोलेगी.
know, Tania,
तो-
तू arrows तेरे को पसंद है ना, तो तू करना है, तेरे को पसंद है ना?
Arrows खा, मैं खाना
हाँ, और खुद जाके खाना खा लिया. What is this?
Look, I just went and someone said there is this very famous jal mudi of Kolkata.
मतलब ये भी
मतलब-
नहीं कोई
ये मतलब
एक
बोल
ले
रहा हूँ
आओ थोड़ा co-commentator के लिए
They
थोड़ा बोल रहा.
I'll tell you, one guy came and said, "Sir, what will you eat?" I said, "We'll only order after the stream ends because Tanya is also hungry since quite some time. So, guys, we'll go and grab something to eat. You too, do the same. and we'll be back at 3:45. That is in half an hour on the
30
next
minutes.
stream. So see you all.
And chat, remember this is a really big event, so definitely leave a comment so we can reach more
Please.
people, because it's truly a special moment for chess, for women chess, to have this event in India. India being the first country ever to host one with the same prize fund for women as well as the open section. And Sagar, you got 30 minutes to freshen up.
Yeah.
We will see you guys in 30
30
minutes.